It's a weird predator aspect when you think about it. Like, because you're in a stand. Your whole goal is for him not to know you're in the stand.
Listen to this, Jeremy. Is it weird to equate this to premature ejaculation? in that, listen, because I know everybody has been here.
I'm not sure there's a mental hurdle to get over there.
Well, listen.
Grandma.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, is you just focus on something else. You pretend it's not happening in the moment. Think of, anything else to let it not happen right now.
Now I'm gonna laugh next time a buck comes in, because that's where my head's gonna go to the same.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Hoyt.
Another year with Hoyt bows. I'm still in the aluminum. I'm shooting the AX3 this year. You're in the carbon.
RX10.
And again, man, Hoyt has just been so reliable for us year after year. Why would we go anywhere else?
Dude, I swear, they just keep making them better. Refining that Redworks model. And we had the honor and the privilege of getting these bows early this past season. So I think it was early November we got them in hand. Literally took it straight to the field, and I shot all 3 of my bucks last year with this RX10, and couldn't have been any happier with how it performed.
And they also keep getting simpler for us. This year we've got the XTS system from a tuning side, just a couple turns with the Allen wrench and shooting bullet holes through paper.
Get serious, get Hoyt.
And we're back.
Heyo.
Hunter Podcast, episode 324.
Ew.
We've been doing this for a while. 324, huh?
Yeah, buddy. We're rocking.
It's crazy. We're in, I always forget, is this year 5 or 6? 5, 6?
I was going to say 6.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Year
6.
6. We're in year 6.
Getting old, man.
I know.
Cresting our, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll refrain.
Yes.
Hey, before we get going here, I will thank you guys for tuning in, whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Those are the three. Forgive me, I get a little gulp here. Those are the 3 main platforms that we drop these episodes on every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you've written us on Instagram, DM, or the website, those are the 2 that we check the most frequently. And we do, especially coming up on the season here, diligently try to get back through those as much as we can. We have some Hunter merch on the website, and as I always continue to promise, more on the way within the next couple of weeks, months. We'll let you know when that's available.
Getting to that time.
In the meantime, you guys can use code HUNTER, HUNTR, on any of our partners' websites for a discount in some way, shape, or form. If there's a miss on that or you can't figure it out, just write us on Instagram there, and we'll do our best to get you sorted out. And other than that, here we go.
Continuing our run of in-studio guests.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Continuing our run?
Yeah.
Been a run?
Yeah.
Brett Smith.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Whitetail Land Management Services.
That's right. That's right. The most boring name.
Welcome back. I forgot to tell you before we jump on here. Up on that mic, right on it.
Get in
pull it into you there.
Yeah, I'll pull
Stay
it
comfortable.
That's my fault. I meant to tell you that. I know. I'm leaning on mine.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Perfect.
Welcome, man.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me.
All the way from Wisconsin?
Yeah, I had some client visits out here for like the 10th time out in Ohio. Put some people on the schedule kind of last month or so. And so when you guys shot me a message, and then I got a hold of Jared, I was like, yeah, let's try and make something work. It was only 2 hours.
I guess I'm a little surprised that you flew. Like, do you fly to many?
So I have tickets to fly out here. And then the storms hit a couple days
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
And I said, I have a layover in Chicago. I ain't making it. So I grabbed a rental, and now I'll fly back home.
Oh, gotcha.
But, yeah, no,
so you drove out in a rental, drop it off, fly home.
Last week I flew to Texas. The week before that was Minnesota. But yeah, a lot of flying actually.
Interesting.
This morning a guy from South Carolina got a hold of me. I'm like, time out. Maybe next year. Like,
yeah. Well, I was gonna ask. Like, I mean, we're recording this on the 19th. Like, are you consulting clear up to season, or like what? Because most guys will say whatever, January to April, May.
Well, you're getting to the time frame where it's not that fun to be in the woods.
It's not, especially in Texas.
Yeah, hot as hell.
Texas last week on a big 400 or 500 acre ranch. I mean, that's not big for Texas, but yeah. No, I'm shutting it down. Literally today is it. Like, I'll do some local stuff around home, but I'll just be honest. Like, I burnt the candle at both ends, and it's a good problem to have. But yeah, time out. I gotta chill. Get home to the family. Got some little kids and stuff like that at home. So it's just new house, just so much stuff going on. So it's time to hit the timeout button for a little bit for sure. But people will run it right up to season. Like, you get the diehard guys who are like, no, it's time to stay out. And then you get guys who are just learning, and they're like, I'll take you when I can get you.
Well, I assume even if there's a lot of property sales that happen between now and the season starting, or even in season, and it's like one of the first things you want is maybe a second opinion on stuff.
And I had a guy from Michigan yesterday. He's like, "Hey, can you come up before season?" I was like, let me look at your areas. Let's get a food plot plan just figured out for you.
Yeah.
I want to come and see it in the off season. I'll set it up when I have a bunch of other people to visit out there, and that's what I try to do. Like sometimes it's 5 to 10 days at a time I'm in a state, and so to go someplace just for a day, like I'll just be honest, financially, you got to make sure it's worth it for you to go out and figure out flights. And then if the flights get canceled, you got to grab a rental and all these other things. So I try to plan 5, maybe even 10 in a row in certain places. So now I'm just kind of picking up one and here and there if it works out. But now I'm done. I'm done for the year. I'm toast.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, dude, it's got to be super fun. Like I hear that side of it too. I'm sure at a certain point it becomes work and like you're getting burned out.
Yeah, I don't want to be a
and
complainer
stuff,
about it though. You're not wrong. Yeah, I mean,
on which part that it's.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of travel. Mentally, it takes a lot out of you when you're getting pictures of the kids back home.
Mm-hmm.
Son's about to start walking. It's like, I hope I don't miss stuff. That's the tough part. But also, like a lot of other people, like my parents, like they worked in mills, they worked in factories. I don't have it bad.
Yeah.
And I refuse to like be a huge complainer. Like there's bad days with anything. But I'll be honest, like even some days when prior to getting to a property, I'm like, dragging today. But then all of a sudden, like I get to that property, and it's like a switch just flips.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as you guys know, like I'll go on some tangents because I'm excited. Like it's my passion. So when you can mix that passion with your job, it's good and bad. But like when you get me on site, like I tell people, I said, tell me to stop if I am giving you too much information. Keep in mind you're getting a report. This will all be on paper, but like I know it's my passion, just the way I light up when I get on a property. But some days, pulling into somebody's driveway, you're just like, love to be home right now.
Sure. Well, especially when you do those binge trips and it's, property number 7, 8, 9, whatever in a row. The family thing was tough, man. Frankly, that's one of
because you were into it.
That's one of the main reasons I quit.
Yeah, I know.
And it wasn't. There were other reasons too, right? Like sometimes, and things have changed at least because this was 15 years ago or 16 that I stopped consulting. And at that time, most of the people I was working with were large landowners, like 1,000 to 3,000.
It was a different age of consulting then. It felt it was like kind of an elite thing. If you had people come and consult on your property, it was you must be
well, and it
wasn't an everyday thing.
It cost them for it, but it was those same people very much are not all of them. I had some great clients, but there was a lot of know-it-alls.
Those are tough,
right? And it's like, dude, if I'm here and I'm taking time away from my family and you're asking me for my opinion on all this, right? And my recommendations, and then I leave and you don't do any of it. And then you call me and you're like, hey, I don't know what happened. I'm like, you didn't do anything.
100%.
You didn't do anything that we talked about.
Once a year, and it didn't happen this year, but once a year I get a guy who just, and you try not to be egotistical about it yourself, but you were brought in, you were paid to be the expert for the day. So you should do the majority of the talking, and if they have questions, absolutely ask them. But sometimes you pull up and the guy just wants to show you what he knows.
Just once, that's it.
And a couple times, like halfway through the visit, I'm like, I guess I'm going to sit back, and I'll do my best to help you. But yeah.
He just wants to show it off.
I think so. And
can you appreciate a level of like if there's guys like that do know what they're doing and they're just like, I'm just not sure about this, and I'm looking for advice, but I do have something to offer. Like, is there a good banter there where you're like, you're right, I don't know. Like,
I think that's a different guy than the guy who's like, hey, check this out.
I know that you. I talked to one the other day.
That's what my client was. That's what my client was yesterday. He had 190-inch deer already. Like he had deer there. He hunts all over. Like he's got farms in Illinois. He's got farms all over.
In fairness, doesn't mean he knows what he's doing, right? Not this guy specifically, but like
that's a thing though. That is a thing, like big deer and guys not knowing what they're doing.
That's
because they got
more common than guys knowing what they're doing, I would say.
I don't think you have to be a good hunter to kill a giant deer anymore.
I will 100%
you have to have money.
Put my life on it saying that is not the case anymore. And that's why it's like the whole internet thing like makes you think somebody's something. You just, But no, like I definitely, those are the fun visits because sometimes it's just like I have to step back and teach people the basics sometimes.
Yeah.
But now when you get to like do some next level stuff and like dig into the habitat improvement, but also the management, like deer management side of things a little bit with somebody and they actually understand what you're saying and you don't have to go over the basic concepts. Like those are the properties that become special. And like otherwise with the basic people, not that I'm pushing people to do 2 visits, like you almost got to do it in phases. Cause if I try to give you like the A grade expert level shit right off the rip, like most of it just went over your head. Sure. And you don't even understand why you're doing it. So therefore you're not going to do it. So
it's
there's two
fun
different-
too. Like if you can, and I guess I'm just saying this from my personal experience. You have a lot more from a consulting, but it's fun even when you can have a respectful, disagreeable dialogue. Like Jeremy and I have that on a
appreciate
daily
that.
basis. It's like, hey, listen,
I noticed
We
that
just had
dynamic
one.
between
We
you
had one
guys.
this morning.
we
I like
both.
that, though.
It's like, and on a property, we'll be like, we are at a point. I had one of these with Chris Brackett the other day. Who, you could argue is a disagreeable person to begin with. I definitely am. It's in my nature.
Yep.
So. And
It's good to question.
And with all the respect, because he's killed a lot more deer than I have,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
so I'll give it where it's due. But we've reached a point where I'm like, hey, I know how to kill some deer too.
Yeah, you do.
And we can disagree on it's almost a style and or a willingness to be aggressive, and or like a lot of it is rooted, I think, in time that we have, which dictates the level
It's a
of
huge part
aggression
of
that
it.
we have to. So you can adopt, you have a Chris Brackett style, and there's plenty of others who will sit back, almost never go in, pull them out to the food. It's that strategy.
Yeah, day 90, kill them.
I'll only buy an East Access farm. I'll only hunt the blinds on,
I'm guilty
in
of
the
that.
screen. Or you have a Ben Rising style, or name the guy that's like, well, here's the X, go sit the X. I have 3 days to get this done.
I'd say that's more so my hunting style, but my consulting style is teaching people to stay out on the fringes because there's a level of expertise and or hunting skill that you need to to go and like jump into the timber.
Pull it to where you're comfortable.
To go jump into the timber and like go get those deer, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know thermals. You got to know, you just got to know a lot of things. And a lot of times the clients don't know that. So it's easier to say, East Axis, sit on the food, wait. Let's create bedding on the opposite side of the property. So if you need to go get them in the transition area, you can. But like to tell guys to do that, they'd be like, okay, and then they'd be in there 12 days in a row, and it's like,
Sure.
That's right.
And you'd call me and you'd be like, oh, man, I didn't get them.
I think
it's beat it to death.
Yeah.
They don't know how to read the situation.
No.
Yeah.
Like
Woodsmanship.
they're just like, well, Brett said November 1st, so let's go.
Let's
Dive
go.
in.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
Well, I think too, we were just talking about kind of how people have changed. Like I think a lot of the landowner side of things, like think of you guys with 40s, 100s, 160s, they're also not as satisfied as if they kill it, but they're just as satisfied as growing and holding and seeing those deer, even on camera, than they are killing the deer, right? Which if you go back 15
for a
years
while.
ago, I mean, yeah.
At some point, that gets old when you get pictures but never kill them.
I think a lot of guys tolerate it because they're like, maybe next year.
I'm in a different situation because I have farms all over, but there's that because I just don't have time to go to them all anyway.
Me either.
So it is fun just to build them up and just see and just let them be sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be down there, but the kids are the priority right now. The family's the priority. Build the home farm. Yeah, it's in a shitty area, but it's out my back door.
Sure.
Right? I know you can relate to that. So, like, I still build up these farms, and it is cool to watch them from afar. Now there's a whole different...
And there's a value there.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Because, I mean, if you send me 15 pictures of good quality deer, you're like, I haven't even hunted these deer. Like, there's a price on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a farm in Western Kentucky I went to for 2 days. I didn't put a bow in my hand even. I went and sat there with my brother-in-law. I said, dude, if we get this one buck to come by, you smoke him. And he came in too late. But anyway, like, it's a farm where the buck-to-doe ratio is dialed. Like, I have pictures in numerous locations of 10 bucks in one photo. And good ones too, some small ones too. But like, it's one of those farms where it'd just be fun to go hunt it.
Sure.
But I'm just like, I'll get around to it, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm out the back door then at home going hunting for a way lesser caliber of deer because it's convenient. You always dreamt like in your 20s to like be able to have all these farms and all this acreage. And then it happens, you're like, oh shit, like I need time.
I'm there.
I need time.
I'm there.
Yeah, so.
They aren't making any more time.
No.
They aren't making any more land either. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I don't remember, Brett, if we covered on the last podcast. How did you end up with some of these farms? Like, I don't want to ask how many you
you're
have
good,
or
dude.
whatever, but
Yeah, no,
are those recent? Have you had those for some time?
You can
or?
ask all those personal questions as to how I got, like nobody handed
Even
me
how
any
many
money.
consoles. It's like asking how much money. I don't need it.
Yeah, no, a lot. I didn't count the number this year, but I bet you it's close to 100.
Yeah. Wow.
But like as far as the farms go, like I just basically pulled I had a 401k from working for somebody else in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled that, took the hit on it, did a HELOC against the house, bought a timber farm, repaid myself back, and moved forward. A couple farms, like I have friends who, or not, I'll say even like mentors who jumped in on a couple farms with me. They're in the mortgage side of things. So
Sure.
if they understood real estate, they could bring value. I could bring value. We've invested on a couple together, but pretty much everything I do is on my own now. So, I mean, I got...
And you're just rolling. A lot of them?
Holding them longer than most people think. I like to hold them for multiple years, like 3-4 years, and it's a little psychotic because that's the point where it gets good.
Sure.
I know.
But
it's also the point that the interest becomes, it's like, how much have I paid it to date?
that's valid, but also it's just like, I think the thing for me is just seeing what I can do with it. I don't I feel a little goofy saying this. I don't need to kill them. Like I need to kill them, but like I don't know, something but just seeing if I can get a farm to where I want it and then pass it off to the next guy and let me go and retry and do it again. Like that's what trips my trigger.
You're
it's
getting
like an
more
addiction.
out of
I get bored with the
growing and managing the farm and the herd than you do killing them on the farm.
And don't get me wrong, I've had some quick flips where like a realtor's like,
Sure.
hey, if you don't buy this, I'm gonna. And I'm like, all right, we'll just relist it, whatever. And that's me being transparent. I know guys don't always say that, but like if I wasn't gonna do it, he literally said he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so like little farms like that, you just throw whatever you throw them back on the market because you have those relationships and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm doing. And I'm not cutting up farms. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And I could make more money if I do, but I'm not going to be greedy about it. Like I'd rather just build a really good farm, pass it off to somebody. And honestly, my best farm that I've ever had, I ended up selling it. I regretted it. Well, the guy, he's doing really well, like financially. He's got other farms. He's like, hey man, I don't really spend a lot of time up there like I wish I would. You want to hunt it this year? Hell yes.
Wow.
So like I had my cabin there that I built. It's the place. So like now I'm having the opportunity to go back to some of my place. So what I was getting at is when I build some of these farms, I stay in touch with the dudes. I got nothing to hide.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I give them like a timber plan moving forward, give them some objectives as to what I would do. And now it's to the point where guys are like, hey, you want to come out and hunt? Hey, you want to hunt it for the year?
Yeah. That's rewarding. I mean, you want to
cool.
know. I mean, that is not that like it's a deep emotional tie, but there's an emotional tie when you grab a piece of land and you have it and you manage it and you work on it for years to then sell it, right? And it's your baby. You're handing it off.
That farm in particular, I refuse to sell it to the wrong guy.
Yeah.
And when I call me a goofball, like whatever, we're passionate about this stuff. When I shook hands with that guy and he told me, he's like, I'm gonna keep this farm forever. Me and my kids are gonna spend a lot of time here in the future. Like this is gonna be our forever place, hopefully. And here I am hunting it now. But regardless, like when I shook his hand, I almost had a tear in my eye because I was like, I need you to know like how special this place is.
That's the right guy. Yeah.
So like, boom, let's sign on the dotted line, even for a little bit of less money. Like that, it's that important to me that I put land in the right people's hands. And that's not always the case. Like sometimes you make your buck and you move on. But like if I can hand it off to the right dude, that means something to me.
Sure.
So and now I'm back hunting the property, so it worked out full circle.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we hold it in such high regard, access to property. It's almost just like it's so valuable that like I can't fathom somebody just offering it up. But that's a trap because there are plenty of generous people out there that would be happy to have you come out and hunt their farms,
Generous people, but also people just that have a lot of different farms too.
Sure.
Where like they've done financially for themselves and they get to the point where they're like, oh, I can't even hunt all this.
Right.
So like I'll let Brett because at least he'll manage it appropriately. He'll treat it as his own. Yeah. So like that's the scenario. Most people would not.
And it comes from being generous on the front end and sharing information like you are. And
I'm probably too open with a lot of stuff, but yeah,
I think it's a good thing. I think it comes back to, I mean, what would you, what things would you consider not being as open with, or do you see that people are like information, like strategy, like?
I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. It's just not in my nature to beat around the bush, if I had to be honest with you.
Yeah,
like,
how could you not?
I don't know. I guess whether it's strategy or showing deer pictures to neighbor, if they kill it, so be it. Like I just don't have that in me. I mean, I'm not
That's
going.
what I was going to ask. Like the deer picture thing seems to be the one that most people are holding close to the chest.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially if you're on whatever 80 or 100 acres, it's like, dude, your neighbors have that deer on camera.
Yeah.
If they know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, that farm that I'm regaining now permission to, I'm not going to run cameras on it this year. It's the best farm I know of. It's the first best farm that I've ever seen, honestly. So selling it was tough for me, but I'm not running cameras on it this year. So I won't even have that issue.
Just going to hunt it.
Gotta make it fun again, dude.
Yeah.
When you make something hunting related your job, it ruins it. I could sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna. It can ruin. And by the way, like poor me. Like, oh no, like you don't love hunting as much. Like said, parents worked in factories, janitorial positions at times, whatever.
It just changes your viewpoint on it.
I want to be excited again.
Mm-hmm. You started that job because you loved hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I lost that for a long time, and I'm trying to get back into it this year. And so I don't score on my deer anymore. And there's guys, guess what? They kill way bigger deer than me anyway. Like, I want to hunt hard areas. Like, I grew up hunting in the Huron Mountains of the Upper Peninsula. I could see Lake Superior 7 miles away on top of a mountain when I'm hunting. Cougars, bears, wild wolf encounters. Like that. I just like hunting a hard deer. The score, I almost despise it to a certain, and maybe I shouldn't say in that being in the position that I'm in. Like we're doing this for a living, but like I kind of despise it because of what the internet and what people have made it. I'm still very interested in it.
Yeah,
but it's also like part of me is kind of
it's been overemphasized. It's become all about inches and stuff.
And I'd say our industry is moving in the wrong direction, and so that's part of the puzzle maybe too. So to keep and entertaining that and doing it myself just seems contradictive if I want to keep loving hunting and even just promote just the love of hunting and kind of getting back to our roots a little bit. But no, that farm, no trail cameras this year. It will have booners.
Do you not think, Brett, that there is like a, what's the word, like a trace or like a, we sense that as well, like in the industry. It's like on one hand you could say, yeah, we're moving in the wrong industry, but I do sense, that there's an interest at least in pulling back and wanting to do what you're saying, which is to make it fun. A lot of people have acknowledged that, like, hey, maybe we've taken it too far. Do you sense that with clients that you've been to, or just some people that you talk to?
No, because the client generally hasn't gotten to that point yet. They're still on the climb, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, well, I would say my hunting peak years of most hunting and time is probably I'm on the other side of the mountain already with that, sadly, like compared like with a family and everything like that. But no, I'd say a lot of guys are still on that climb. So they want to do everything that whatever 1% they can find to get a little bit better, whether it's 75 trail cameras on a 75 acre parcel, like they'll do it. And as they should. But like for me, when you do it 300 days a year and there's not a day that goes by that you don't look at maps.
Yeah.
It's like, at some point, you just got to step back and just say, hey, I just got to make this fun. And there's not as much excitement when you have everything on trail camera. Don't get me wrong. Kind of have a lot of trail cameras out, different farms where I'm running trail cameras. But that farm, like, I'm just going to let it be.
Yeah.
And hopefully that makes it fun. Yeah. And maybe I accidentally whack a 4-year-old. Maybe I accidentally whack a 3-year-old.
Maybe.
But if I smile when I do it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard thing. I mean, not that I was killing giant bucks back then, but like in the position you're at, there is a level of expectation from clients, and
I'm just personally over it.
I know.
Hire me for who I am, I guess, at this point.
But I've
seen enough.
And
yes.
Not to name
names.
That's the
thing. Go ahead.
But look at the other people out there in the consulting space. Like there's an expectation hovering them that if they don't kill a booner, they don't kill 200 this year, that they failed.
And I faked it for a long time trying to be one of those guys because I thought that's what it took.
Sure.
And the reality is like the majority of my clients.
Real quick, just for clarity on that, you mean expectation on them personally, on their own personal success, and or to do it on their that property,
on their own personal success.
Guys, you expect Don to kill a 200 every year. That's a high bar to like.
Right?
And kudos to him for being able to accomplish what he's accomplished up to this point. But it's like
Don kind of expects Don to kill 200 every year.
Yeah, I don't know. And if he's having fun doing that, he should keep doing that. I just don't know if I can relate to that. And if I know this sounds psychotic, and people are going to say it's because you don't have access to 200-inch deer. And trust me, I know there's some big deer. But like, if I get in that range of killing 200s, I hope it's my last deer I ever kill.
Yeah, because where do you go from
I need something to chase. Like, that's just how I look at it. And so if I can kill one without a trail camera, I think that'd be the ultimate for me. But like, and I know it's not a normal take, but like, I don't want to ruin it more than I've ruined it. And I feel like if I do that and I accomplish the ultimate 200 goal or whatever, and we could do it now, especially with spending money and buying the right farms and just whatever, I don't want to take that step unless I can just kill it organically, I guess. But yeah, no, there's an expectation for those guys, but I think the pressure is more so in their head than
sure. You just don't want to fall into that trap, where it's like, you're under a microscope, because for sure there's no fun there.
No.
There's a pressure of a certain age class or a certain antler size or both on every deer that they kill.
Well, and I don't sense that you do. I mean, and no offense, I have no idea. You told us about deer that you've killed, but I don't like in the way that you see the pictures shut down your throat.
I haven't killed a booner in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I'm not really putting myself in a position to do it as much either, because sometimes you're getting rid of the farm at the right.
I think that's the right way to do it, though, because there's no pressure. Nobody's saying, "Boy, if Brett doesn't kill a booner this year, there's no way he's coming out to my farm."
I once again, sounds psychotic. I think I don't. I would.
Do you think that though? I agree. I think even you said it's like, or maybe you said it's like people hire you for your personality.
Yeah,
and I would agree with anybody's. I think people, at least myself, would feel pretty tied to a consultant based on, I don't know, I just jive with this guy. I like his mindset around hunting. I want to have him.
I would say that's not the majority of hires.
Yesterday's guy did tell me something along that lines, but I'm
just thinking of like the demand of who some of the top people. You mentioned Don or a Ben Rising or an Adam Hayes. Like, no offense to those guys, but if those guys were not killing booner plus deer, are people picking up the phone to call them to consult?
Well, no, but they don't necessarily have the personality to.
Well, but I'm just saying that's
well,
that's
and that's not like a diss necessarily, but it's like maybe some people hire or are hired based off personality and or style, and other people hire and or are hired based off success. The bucks that they kill.
Those guys definitely get hired based off of the caliber of deer they're killing. I would 100%. Say the majority of people hire me for my personality and now my expertise to do how many farms I've been on and seen.
I think Adam Keith would be a great example.
They're like, what's your best
too.
trait? You're like, I have a great personality.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I'm a nice guy.
like Adam's got a good personality.
Keith?
He's got a good pathway. Like he's really good at this stuff.
That's why I
But
asked,
if you look at Adam's success, no knock to him. Like
Yeah.
he's not killing anything that's
and like you, he'll admit, he's like,
Adam,
I
that's
haven't even had time to
Land
hunt.
and
Land and Legacy guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
And-
dude.
and
Yeah.
it- and it-
Personality. There we go.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, and honestly, you could put Sturgis in that boat. Like
Sure.
up until recently, Sturgis wasn't killing big bucks.
Okay.
So I'm just there's two very different categories there, but in the broad scope of like what I think from a public mass standpoint, it is still very much on like if they're killing 200s, then they're gonna help me kill 200s.
Sure.
I don't want to sit here and try and promote my business though either, because one, I can't really even take any more business. But you as the client need to be realistic with your situation.
Absolutely, dude.
And if I'll be honest with you, you're in South Carolina and you're hiring a guy because he kills 200s in Iowa or something, you did it wrong.
For most people.
Like you should have hired somebody down south. Like you should have hired somebody that's relatable to your area. Like maybe not even me, somebody that's spent more time there so that they're more familiar with your habitat. When I started my business, 8+ years ago now, there was a guy that it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He serviced 26 states and he's killed Pope and young bucks in 3 states. And I said, how the hell are you servicing the other 23 if you've never hunted there? And so like to tell people how to kill deer in a place where you've never killed deer was just,
Well, dude,
I couldn't wrap my head around it. So
my bigger problem, and I would say it's probably been in the last 5 to 10 years, especially, is primarily hunt consultants. Right? They'll come in and say, "Here's how you're going to lay out your farm. Here's how you're going to kill the buck." If you're telling me that from like a mature animal standpoint, and I don't have mature bucks on my property, then what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
Right? It needs to be all encompassing. Like you should have guys that, and you have guys who are only good on habitat stuff, right? That don't, frankly, they're going to help you a little bit on the hunting side, but their entire job is habitat, setup, nutrition, management aspect of things. They're not hunt guys. You do have guys that are full picture. I think that's would be your business qualification, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
So
Is that a big ask that is made of you? Is like, how do I get bigger bucks?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, but
a big
sometimes I
part of
just
it.
assume that's what they want, and I show up and they're like, "Hey man, we just want to kill more deer." I'm like,
Oh,
and I
okay.
just assume sometimes that everybody's paying the amount that they're paying me, and they're hiring me
to kill bigger bucks.
to kill a giant. And
Yeah.
guys are just like, "Hey dude, like we got a couple people hunting this. We got kids. We want to kill more deer. Tell me how to do that." I'm like, "Oh," and it's kind of a breath of fresh air. I'm like,
No
"Oh, let's
doubt.
do that. Let's do that."
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Predator Camo.
That's right, man. Predator Camo. We've been rocking that stuff for, boy, a little over 10 years, a full decade now. It's kind of hard to believe, but we stepped away, a year or two, tried some different stuff over the years, but at the end of it, we always come back to Predator Camo.
Yeah, and I mean, even in reflecting back on this season, like I started off the season in spring green, killed that elk. You killed all 3 of your bucks, I think, in the fall brown, which has kind of made its return back to the lineup. And yeah, it's been dependable. And it's funny when you know that you're in a stand and the deer is looking at you, but it's looking through you. It's a completely different feeling.
They have some new stuff. So, they went through an ownership change a couple of years ago and had the opportunity to give them some feedback. And I think we're getting ready to see the results of all of that coming out this July in some all-new apparel lines.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were able to see it at ATA. I know some of you guys might have been able to see it at some other shows, but it's awesome. And anyone listening to this, when it goes live in July, can use the code HUNTER, HUNTR, and use that for a discount on Predator Camo, as well as during the spring here. If you're looking for turkey stuff and want to get spring green, same discount code on PredatorCamo.com.
Don't blend in, break out. I guess, and I'm trying to tease apart. I'm sure it's like it's a crossover of all of it here, but like, I'm just curious, like if it stands out to you in different parts of the country or different types of clientele. It's like, hey, Brett, help me. And maybe they wouldn't call you if this was the case. Maybe I would call a guy who is known for growing giant, that's like their thing so that's what I want. I want to grow. I have deer. I know how to kill them, but I want to grow bigger deer versus, hey, I have good deer, but I'm struggling to kill them. Like I need more of a hunt consultant strategy. And then maybe the third piece of that is like, hey, I just want to improve the quality of the habitat on my farm here and have a better experience, better, kind of thing overall. I'm just curious, like what what requests do you see from clients the most? Like, which of those is the most common?
Big bucks still dominate everything.
Yeah.
How do I grow big bucks? That's what they want to know.
Yeah, how do I take it to the next step? And so therefore we have to recognize, where are you now?
Yeah.
And so if killing the 3-year-old is the next step, then and you're cool with that, then that's what we need to figure out.
What is that then? I know it's like every property is different, but so what is the answer? Jeremy and I had a good debate this morning on feeding and incorporating protein and even like some what were they called?
Vasodilators.
Vasodilators. Things that are essentially amino. They're things that are in analogics. So, and we're discussing, is there a line of ethics? How far are we willing to go to provide nutrition to free range animals? Because I'm considering it. I'm like, hey, I just got 3 5,000-pound feeders delivered in Ohio the other day.
Yeah, there's studies out there that absolutely, like, there's guys that'll comment on my shit and they're like, feeding is the devil. And but no, there's science that'll show that you can gain up to 10% of I guess more antler production by feeding these deer. I mean, think about it. If you put it on a platter versus them having to go like out.
There's no question. They will go.
Yeah,
the ethics question is, okay, this stuff is okay. We're cool with food plots. We're cool with so, but anabolic steroids, or like, use an extreme example, where do we draw the line? Regulated stuff, do we default to just the regulatory, whoever says we can or can't feed it to wildlife kind of a thing?
That would be like in a B tier list for me of things to start paying attention to and regulating. We need to look at technology and fences and all these other things, like, as far as like ethics first. Like, if you're just trying to grow a bigger deer, you're not. Like, you're just growing a bigger deer. Like, you're not really manipulating which way he can and can't go. Like, you're not trapping him into. It's just, I don't know.
That's why it's interesting. It's a different kind of discussion. It's like,
you're growing a bigger deer.
First of all, you got to get them to age, and I think that stuff you're talking about does tie in heavily.
Technology, fences,
exactly.
etc.
That is how you get them to age, and then.
But where's the boundary there?
Well, yeah, there's. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and there's all that too, but
I think it helps get him to age. You don't need that to get him to age. Like, I mean, if you got the right neighbor, that gets him to age. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy who owns 500 acres who's a Bitcoin billionaire, and he just doesn't really hunt his farm anymore. Ask me how I know. I got good neighbors in some places, but like, so sometimes that's what it takes. So to say that, hey, you need to use technology, and you don't, but it sure as hell is going to help. But no, if we're looking at it from an ethical standpoint, dude, feed. Like, why? Like, feed during the growing months. Feed in the off season. Turn it off. Come deer season. If you don't want to hunt over it, I think there's more of an argument to be made as far as ethics go about sitting over a bait pile and whatever. That's a conversation. But like, feed. Like, you're not sitting over it, like shooting a deer off of it. You still catch him on his natural patterns during the season. Yeah, feed. I got no problems with it. If you're trying to kill bigger deer and you can feed, why the hell wouldn't you?
I agree, and I think Jeremy agrees. To a point where but
you would disagree with that?
No, he would agree.
I agree on the feed thing. Like, frankly, that's one of my biggest beefs with Kentucky is that I can't feed from March to August 1st, which is when I want to feed.
Yeah. But you can bait, so it's bass backwards. Like, the regulation is opposite of what we would like to see in most states.
Sorry, I was in the zone there. You said Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's dumb. My disagreement or opposition to feeding would be, where's the line? So if it's like, hey, I'm feeding cattle protein or sweet feed or whatever, fine.
Yeah.
You start telling me about putting vasodilators and things like that in the feed.
It's gonna get there. It is getting there.
That's my line.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because I'm just like,
you're genetically modifying deer.
Well, yeah, it's hypothetical, right? Yeah. But
but it isn't necessary. So that's where, and it's out of reach for a lot of folks. You know what I mean?
Yep. Is it though?
Yeah. Yeah,
the
from
majority,
a budgetary standpoint.
But there are certainly the guys that will do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Well, and so then you talk to genetic modification. You talk about releasing doe. Okay, so that's a line of ethics. We all agree. It's like, okay, well, it's illegal, first of all, so that dictates the line for us. So we back it up to like, okay, well, there's feeding here. Generally, people seem okay with feeding, but so what can we incorporate in the feed that, where is the line there? So that was a conversation.
I'd say your baseline 20% feed is not, like, we're not breaking any rules. No, I think you should absolutely feed during the growing months if you're trying to grow bigger deer. Like, if that's one of your goals, you're psychotic not to, as long as your state allows it. And yeah, I mean, I don't see any issues personally, even with the CWD side of things at this point, guys. Like, it's just like,
sure,
I don't know.
Is there a boundary there of like, because like from an actual nutrition level, right? There's a certain amount of feed that you're going to need to be providing, right? If you just have 100-pound feeder out on a 200-acre property, like, that's not doing much.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's supplemental. You're right, but
sure.
it's a supplement. It's not meant to be like the place where they lay around it all day like
but
a big
don't have the
bear.
expectations that it's going to do a dramatic amount for them.
10% would be nice if in theory that's truly the statistics
Think
that we're
you could
seeing
get that
out
off
there.
of a small feeder on
No, that's a guy that's taking a feeding program very serious.
Feeding program.
Yeah, like he's on a program,
Agreed.
making sure it's never empty.
That's what I want to make sure
Die-hard
people
serious.
understand, right? No different than like I'm going to put out a mineral block and they're going to increase 10 inches this year.
I mean, the science shows out of Penn State that in an enclosed environment, it absolutely dictates like antler production, antler growth. So you can't tell me in a free ranging environment, it doesn't help. You're not going to get the same results because you can't
it's
force feed them.
controlled. Yeah.
Yeah, but the science is out there. It absolutely helps. So if anybody's going to say anything different, like, yeah, we should always manipulate habitat to make it the best native habitat you possibly can. Duh. But if you're trying to take it to the next step, if you can feed mineral and you can feed,
Sure.
yeah, do it.
Well, it's a fun conversation because like we've never been here before. Like, you know, we just like our progression has been.
It's the 1% leaps that you're talking about earlier.
Yeah, I think it was honestly just last.
That's one of them.
I think it was honestly just last year. Like, you know, I had been frustrated from years previous of like all these deer getting baited off and shot. You know, and I was like, I gotta do something here. I gotta. You know, I gotta up my baiting game here, basically. So we picked up feeders last year, some 2,000 pound, you know, boys, and filled them with straight corn is what I filled them with. I'm like, I'm just trying to attract them and keep them here, see if I can do something here.
That was an age move, right?
It was an age move. Yeah,
Meaning you're trying to get deer to the next age class.
I'm trying to not get them killed by the neighbors.
Not a nutrition move, just an age
A
move.
nutrition move, just an age move. And I think we had some success with that. You know, I mean, we held deer on those, and we have, you know, some deer that have been carried over here. And so then we got into we had a hard winter last year, and I fed throughout that, and it was kind of a whole thing. And Jeremy and I had lots of discussions around like, this is probably not the best thing to be feeding them. It's just straight corn out of the feeder this whole time there. So, and also I was like, they weren't big enough. I was like, I have too many deer, so we need to shoot more deer. And also I can't keep these things filled. So, you know, moving on from those feeders, up them to 5,000 pound feeders. I'm like, okay, I can probably keep these fed. And in the meantime, I probably need to give them something better. Like I want to give better nutrition if I can. So now we're considering incorporating some sort of a better feed, but there's definitely budgetary restrictions. And then now for the first time, I'm questioning like, what's okay to feed? You know, what should we be feeding?
Yeah, the protein side of things gets expensive, but going back to like the feeding, like in a northern climate, you got to be careful with it. I've walked up on atomic bombs on northern properties. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, every year we have a bad winter kill. I'm like, within like 150 yards of your bait site.
Wow.
Yeah.
In February, 30 deer.
Oh no.
Insane.
Really?
So in those northern climates, you got to be careful as to how you're doing it, and yeah, it's a beneficial time of the year to do it if you do it correctly.
Sure.
This dude murdered like 30 deer.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was insane. I couldn't believe my eyes.
We had a tough winter here last year, dude. I mean, it wasn't northern climates, but we had several feet of snow for several weeks in a row. Like
couple really cold stints, at least by us.
We did.
Too.
Like, we had a 10 or 14 day stretch there because I was ice fishing on like 10 inches of ice, which is not common.
And we had the drought last summer into early fall. So dude, I had 16 acres of standing beans that were eradicated by mid-December. And then the really hard winter set in, January, February. So then all I had left was the feeders.
So
our brassicas were non-existent because of the drought.
It's
non-existent.
Generally the case. On that farm, then like you have pretty high doe numbers then.
Very high. Yeah.
Yeah. So like feeding is gonna help, but like you got to kill the deer, and it's so much easier to just feed and like spend the money if you got it to feed them. It's just easier that way because otherwise you got a big farm like. You know how many deer you got to kill to make a dent?
Yeah,
I know.
It's crazy.
We're killing 10 or 15, but I do feel like this year the goal is 20.
How many
25.
acres?
In total, there's 1,000 there, but the part that I'm talking about is probably 600 or 700.
Even still, man.
I really should have done that survey just so we could have a hard number to go on.
Dude, I bet it's astronomical.
It's high.
I'd still say you aren't even helping yet at 15. You're not even at a break.
Getting into check.
Yeah, your population's still growing.
Based on what? Why do you say that?
Because you have that much acreage.
First of all, I agree, but
you're just
but it's not super dense acres. It's not Midwest stuff. This is like Eastern Ohio, a lot of open pasture ground. This 1,000 acres hunts like, and it's getting better because we're working on the timber and stuff. Hunts like 300 to 400 acres.
If there's a state, and probably 2 states, where the buck to doe ratio gets so out of whack and actually affects genetic potential, it would be Ohio and Kentucky. And I'm not the invasive species guys. You guys have some of the worst invasive
we do.
Of all time. So therefore, there's less quality browse for these deer. Yes, there's good quality cover, I guess, but your
I agree.
Your cover is
the
not
habitat
browse.
in Ohio sucks.
Terrible. It's the worst state.
Yeah.
It is the worst state.
It's not great soil
Interesting.
either.
No, so it's by far the worst state.
Interesting.
Noticeably, Kentucky's up there as well. We have pockets in Wisconsin
Why is
that
do
get
you
bad.
think? I hear you on the invasives.
For
I
the
do think that's
invasive
part
side?
of it, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Kentucky, dude, half my state is
Honeysuckle?
freaking kudzu.
Why?
that too,
why?
especially down
why
south.
every hunt or footage that you see from properties in Ohio, it's just like big canopied timber, nothing on the understory. Like it's just the habitat seems terrible.
I don't know. Was there initial inception or like a insertion of certain species for certain reasons?
There was multiflora. It was sent out in seed packets.
Well, and then, if you look at eastern Ohio and especially even into where we're at in western Pennsylvania, it was autumn olive, right? For all the old strip mines.
Yeah, no, it's the worst state by far. So therefore, like if we're talking about like increasing your hunting quality, like feeding, yeah. But I'd rank that behind taking care of your invasives in Ohio, timbering, opening canopy, getting quality browse, and killing does.
Yes. Yeah.
Like there's a direct correlation. You guys hear me say this shit online all the time. There's a direct correlation to the best farms I went to this year
and the number of does.
Smoking does.
Yeah.
And like it's either the farmer next door who doesn't like does, or it's not that ideal situation you would think always, or they're killing a lot of does. Like little 80-acre parcels in Ohio with a 200-inch deer and booners every single year, because there's something in that neighborhood that made it special, and I couldn't put my thumb on it. I said, what are your neighbors doing as far as doe management? What are these farmers doing? Smoking them. It's the only thing I could put my thumb on, and it happened in Missouri this year. I really paid attention to it. I said, like, if these people are killing massive deer already, I said, what's your doe management strategy? And in a place like Ohio where you have these big disease die-offs, like if the hunters aren't doing it, the disease is doing it, and therefore I think that's why we see some of the caliber of deer that we see in Ohio. But yeah, feeding, do it, but manage your invasives. And I hate to be that guy, because I never was like, manage your invasives.
Right.
It's manage your invasives. It's the right thing to do. But like, no, in a state like Ohio, there's a direct correlation.
Well, check it out, dude. We're exactly on the track that you're kind of prescribing there. So over the past year here, as a part of this whole, hey, we have too many deer. The feeding program, the corn program there is not enough. Our timber is like, I'm realizing that's the problem. We submitted an application for a big equip project that I thought until the other day was not going so well, but I found out yesterday we got pre-approved for
invasive removal.
A big portion of it is invasive removal. There's a tree planting component, and there is a timbering component of it. So I mean, dude, it's like $190,000.
Yeah, it's considerable. I mean, per acre. I mean, it can creep up into the hundreds of dollars.
I think it's $300. I think it's for the invasive management.
200 to even 500 I've seen on occasion. So like, there's a lot of money left out there.
And Jeremy got it. And so I'm pre-approved. That doesn't mean I'm funded. You're funded in Kentucky, right?
Yeah, and I only did 32 acres or 33 acres of the farm, just to be manageable for this first round, to see how it works, how I like it, that kind of thing.
It's overbearing, like to tell somebody on the 400-acre farm, hey, you got to smoke all these invasives. So like, knowing that there's funding out there to do that stuff, it pushes people in the right direction, and therefore they get better hunting because of it.
Sure.
So like,
well, the root of mine, dude, is I want to. What do you say? Take that timber.
Hammer it.
Hammer that timber. That is what I want to do, but I cannot do it until I address those invasives, because I've done it. I've done it not as heavy in the past. Like, so I took the traditional route of like, oh, what's this TSI thing here? Oh, okay, we want to go out and release some of these trees here. But the problem with doing it too light is like your shade tolerant species, which are your invasives, just explode.
Yep.
So it almost had more harm than good. And I'm back to like really no habitat there. It's just invasives and still trees.
There's a really good argument to handling your invasives prior to the cut, but I think there's an argument to be made after a cut too, when the canopy's more open, and maybe you do some sort of aerial attack, if at all possible. We
did that this year on a clear cut, and it did phenomenally.
There you go.
However, there were far fewer trees than that then will be left standing in our timber that we're going to be managing.
It depends how you're managing the timber, but if you can open up that canopy and allow that drone to maybe get a little bit closer and hit it with some sort of aerial attack, I think that's another good way to really...
You would love this clear cut project that we did here.
Okay.
I mean, I'll spare because I've said it a bunch here on the podcast, but it essentially was a clear cut that we finished off. We took the rest of the trees out, and then it was all aerial attack with the drone and stuff. We burned it off. We seeded a CRP seed into it with lots of grasses and pollinators and stuff like that. And even this year, I got annuals like sorghums and stuff in there.
That's cool.
Oh, dude. It's the Forbia stuff, the best habitat on our farm by far.
There's a scenario that we see a lot in more the swamp country of Wisconsin, where we deal with ash swamps. The ash tree dies, and then what happens is the understory is overtaken by cool season grasses, canary grass, and stuff like that. There's no better scenario to go in and have some sort of aerial attack. Reset that, introduce your woody species, your tamaracks, your willows, your red osier dogwoods, things like that. Maybe even do it from seed. I've attempted to do that, which a lot of people have not tried. But there's a lot of scenarios where I think the aerial attack is the way to do it. And then you're not, from a health standpoint, you're not on the ground in the shit.
Yeah.
Right. You can be 800 acres away and playing video games, basically.
Yeah, no, that's
controlling
the
that
way
drone
to
if
do it,
somebody's
for
doing
sure.
you. So from a safety standpoint, too, I think that's a good way to handle it.
Dude, we seeded it with a drone too.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So if you can find a distributor to get you, everybody loves red O's or dogwood. There's a time and a place,
Sure.
like anything else. Drone seed that, and at double the rate. So if you go and like buy roughly 20 acres of seed for about $1,000, if you can find it, and then you drone seed that at double the rate, because it's not going to get 100% germination. You're throwing it on top. After you've eradicated a lot of your cool season grasses in this ash swamp scenario, you can introduce a lot of stuff from seed. And the purpose of doing that is now we're mass planting it, where if I go out there and I buy 100 little plants, kiss them goodbye unless you tube them off. So if we do it in mass quantity from seed, there's a better chance of survival, and it can withstand browse pressure that way too. So yeah, aerial seeding, hell yeah. Be efficient with the technology that we do have.
Have you seen that done in standing timber? Like invasive management out of standing timber with a drone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just the right
full of
timing.
times, but
Just comes down to timing.
for sure. And especially with like something like a canary grass, like it's very invasive. You got to hit it numerous times too. So like you got to be careful to wait to add certain species before, like you got to eradicate everything before you add certain species in, just because in their young state, like some different species that you might have added may not have like the resistance to certain herbicides, and it could harm them. But so just make sure you handle that shit first. But
What about multiflora specifically? Have you seen that done?
it's more the canary grass scenario that I've seen more of.
I think you could probably hit your multiflora in like a late April and get away with most of it.
The fear would be, because it's gly is what you're putting down, is any plants or any trees that are potentially starting to bud at that point. Like, can you imagine killing your whole stand of timber by trying to kill out the invasive?
I don't think they're that sensitive, especially when it gets to more mature stuff. I remember
Really?
I shouldn't say this, but like I remember working back in like the summers when I was a kid. Like in high school for like the town that I worked for. And I remember I was like out spot spraying everything. And I remember thinking like, I wonder if I can kill some of these trees, like some of these brushier trees.
Nah.
And I come back and like, I didn't even touch them. So like based off that little bit of knowledge, not that it's very scientific or anything, I think you'd have a hard time really. You might stunt, you might harm a little bit. You're not killing.
Not even. I mean,
trees.
think about like we were talking about with our warm season grasses earlier that are established. Like they get hit with glide, they still survive.
Yeah.
So think of a tree with a entire root.
Well, it's just
system.
higher stakes. I mean, like a 30-year-old oak, I care a little bit more about than a 3-year-old CRP stand.
I mean, that's why like in most pine plantations down south, they're using a Mazapir to control hardwoods because glide won't kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're gonna have a noticeable issue with glide.
Well, in that case, then, yeah, I would agree with your opinion that it's maybe done post harvest.
Open the canopy, get the drone right in there.
Right.
Yeah, drop it down in there.
Well, even then, like, it's still tough to, like, even in
Depending
our...
on the cut. As far as how much you're opening the canopy, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, like, the stuff that we did, like, on 8 acres, essentially, there's probably 10 or 15 trees mainly out around the perimeter. And I asked the drone guy, I'm like, what do you think of this? Is this a challenging fly? And he's like, it's more challenging than most. Like this is, and so I can only imagine the rest of the timber. It's not going to be a clear cut. There going to be way more trees than that. I don't think he's getting down in it.
And a lot of the areas that I'm talking about, we completely reset them because it's the emerald ash borer. It's if it doesn't do it, entangle it and make it messy. Like
sure.
Or like I'll do it basically instead of letting it get tangled and messy. So like we are completely eradicating those areas, making it easier to get in there with a drone. Like people got to realize you're not using a little like DJI like
no.
It's a big contraption.
drone.
Yeah, and if it wrecks, that's inexpensive. You know.
Yeah,
not great.
That's not cheap.
So I mean, worst case scenario, you just do it on foot. You hire somebody to do it. Whatever. There's still other options, but if you're trying to be efficient and stay out of the shit, like that's one way to attack it.
Well, that's where equip I think is going to be helpful. If we do get funded for that, I mean, $190,000. Sounds great, but that's all.
Well, you're shoving it back in.
That's all going to get paid to crews to go in and manage that stuff on foot.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, and people need to know there's at least the opportunity for them to pocket some of that money by doing some of the work on their own. But the reality is when you have guys like yesterday's client, he owns multiple businesses and stuff like that. Like, he ain't doing the work. You're gonna have to fork some of that out to somebody else. So you're shoving a lot of it back in. But even if it's a break even, it's a no brainer.
Yeah,
you know.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're getting the work done.
You're getting a better farm and you're gonna have better quality deer for it. Yeah, no brainer.
I'm excited about it. Some of our neighbors have done some pretty heavy timber. One case specifically was like it got sold, but they retained the timber rights. And the guys that retained the timber rights just completely like smoked it. And it looks amazing from a deer habitat standpoint. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets here. And I'm looking at my timber that's like, in the past I've thought, it's not great. It needs managed better. Now I see it next to like a really hard cut. And I'm like, boy, I've got some work to do here.
Yeah. I don't have, the emotional soft spot for timber anymore. Like I've seen too many scenarios where guys didn't do it heavy enough, and if you don't, nobody's coming back. So like one of my farms, I just clear cut a 14-acre section, like smoked it, and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Aesthetically terrible. But it's in one of the best neighborhoods I know of in the country. So already this year, like it's going to hold a lot of deer, but I know what it's going to do in the future now because of it. It's cringy. You walk in there, and if you, I'll say this, like if you don't, like, especially for like normal people who are not tree huggers, but emotionally attached to their trees, if you don't have that pucker moment after you've done some TSI of, oh shit, what did I do? You probably didn't do it heavy enough. In a lot of scenarios. I don't want to say for everybody, but based off of what I see, I'm
with you though. I obviously want it, like there's some, whatever the word is, homage, respect to be paid to old trees.
I agree.
However, I get turned on by good deer habitat, and I know from a timber standpoint what does that and what doesn't, and standing, high canopy timber just isn't that. So like I don't have the emotional connection to that standard timber.
Set the deer aside. Disease, tornadoes, storms, when they get to a point, like I had a farm, like it was the most aesthetic park I've ever seen in my life. I could see for 500 yards. By the time I started cutting, a lot of my trees were already dying of disease. Guess how much money I lost because I didn't own the farm in the past, but it should have been cut in the past.
Sure.
So, like, deer hunting aside, guys, you're doing the right thing. You're resetting it to a certain extent instead of just letting it die of disease and taking the money from it. Like, why wouldn't you?
I've had so much fun, like just seeing the results from chemical control and fire and, chainsaw work. We really hit it hard on that 8-acre clear cut section there. But I think, first of all, it laid the framework of a mindset for Dad. Every year I got to get him reacclimated with fire and more, comfortable with stuff. But I think over the next 3 to 5 years, like on our place in Ohio, we're going to make some significant timber changes.
I'm as anti as I can be with chemicals. You need them in a lot of scenarios, but I've seen certain farms, especially even this year, one in Missouri, where he was managing on a 3 to 5 year cycle with fire in his timber. Like he's like, I don't know why I like burning in timber, but I do. And I was like, it shows because you have some of the best understory that I've ever seen anywhere. So like, are you eradicating a lot of these invasive species? No, but you're like resetting.
You're just setting them back.
You are resetting them, and some of this other stuff does flourish and at least compete for a little while. And by the time the invasives outcompete, well, it's time to reset, Yep. It was some of the most beautiful understory I've ever seen, and therefore the chemical is not necessary. But burning in the timber, or burning in general, is a big task, especially if you're a one-man crew. You got 500 acres. Like, it just ain't happening like you'd want it to. You don't have
It takes time to build that infrastructure. You need fire breaks. Like, dude, and I've burned enough to know that, like, that is you need fire breaks.
Yeah. No, but I mean, if at all possible, whether you have the financial means to hire on a professional insured burn crew to do it, like that's the key way, in my opinion. You're never eradicating a lot of those invasives, but you are maintaining really good deer habitat.
Have you ever been on a burn in Ohio?
Nah, not in Ohio.
Yeah. They make it pretty tough for us.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty limited window of when you can do it. There's a burn ban that comes in. When is that, Jeremy? Early April?
Early April.
April, and they say you can't burn before
6
p.m. It's like from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. is your time to burn.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah.
Kentucky's
which is
got one
which is what we do.
Yeah.
Kentucky does too.
Similar.
Yeah.
Unless, I think you can do it if you have a burn boss on site, but they're very, fortunately I found one. I think Eric Long is a burn boss. So I think technically we could, we could get that done, but
they're just waiting until you have more green, and then the odds of it taking off.
And it makes sense.
Good.
I get it because you don't know who's out there lighting a fire. So I get why there's got to be some sort of restriction. But yeah, if you can beat around or work around those restrictions or time frames, like it's like I've seen a lot of farms at this point. One of the best farms that is memorable, especially from this year's visits, was a guy who consistently burned on a 3 to 5 year basis in his timber. I think if you burn on a yearly basis, you're going to have really good small game habitat. You get to about year 2, you're going to have really good turkey habitat. If you're burning, depending on how far north you are in the country, if you burn on a 3 to 4, maybe even 5 year cycle, you're maintaining really good deer habitat. That's what it comes down to. So I think if at all possible, if you want to stay away from chemicals, you're not eradicating those invasives, but resetting them via fire on some sort of burn schedule. That's the way.
Interesting.
Yeah, It looks good, man. It looks really good. Beautiful oak savanna, reset. Like, yeah, it was aesthetic.
I think we're getting there. Like, it's funny how your mindset on these properties changes, like over years and even decades. It's like, until I had a framework of fire breaks and stuff like that. Like, that's your infrastructure for burning.
Yeah.
I was like, it just almost didn't seem doable, or how could we do it? But then once you do one section, you're like, okay, well, I've got this side fire braked off, and now I can, and I am talking large acres. So, I mean, it's not a small task, and I don't have a forestry mulcher like at the ready, and it's expensive to rent stuff. And so, but as we chip away at it years over years, I'm like, okay, well, now I have this section blocked off, and so over the years, the farm does become, in a good way, I think, more segmented, and like, okay, here's a chunk I can take
Different
on.
Successional regrowth.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's necessary. And even like a big property like yesterday, as I said, you think about your piece of timber or your farm as a pizza. We're going to cut this slice. We're going to skip one. We're going to cut this slice on a 4 to 5, 7 year cycle. Always different successional regrowth. By the time you go around that circle again, it's time to make more money again. You have a 50-year plan for income generating timber on the right size farm. You have to have a big enough farm to keep a logger to come back every 7 years. 80 acre swaths, 50 acre swaths minimum, something like that. But
a good enough to like quality timber stand. That's where some of our stuff I struggle with, because we do have some great oak stands. So it's like, hey, there's valuable timber. There's money there. But I have some stands that, whether they got just absolutely timber too hard in the past, or they had cattle in them more than likely in the past, there's just not very much quality timber in it. So it's like, what do you do? Just cut everything that doesn't have any timber value? The answer is maybe yes.
That doesn't yeah, honestly.
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
But that's a hard one for mom and dad to swap. Mom is,
or everything period. If it's like that spotty of good timber, just clear cut it.
Time to reset it. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely make that argument. I don't know. And that's the thing, too. Like, I think it's important, like, everybody hears me talking about cutting timber, like, to go in and just smoke every oak tree down to 12-inch minimum, like, everywhere just to make your money. That's wrong. Duh. Yeah. But, like, certain areas, hell yeah. Like, I'd rather eradicate all the oaks and open up canopy and create forage on a yearly basis versus having those oaks produce every couple of years. Like, I understand people are in love with their oaks, but, dude, there's no one tree that is so important to me when I, like, in a specific area that I feel like I need to open the canopy. I don't care what trees. Like, if that's what we need to do, if that's topographically speaking, like the strategic area where we got to do it, I don't care what's in that area. We got to open canopy, and yeah, it might hurt you for a little bit, but realize the amount of forage you're putting at the deer's reach is astronomical compared to the amount of acorns that'll drop every couple years.
Yeah.
Don't go and wipe the whole farm clean, obviously. But yeah, there's areas I'll smash it.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Deer Grow.
Man, hard to believe, but Deer Grow has been the sponsor that's been there since the beginning of the Hunter Podcast. Back in 2021, I think that they were the only partner that we had, but it's such a cornerstone brand and set of products for our food plot strategy throughout the year.
No doubt. And it seems like we used to have an off season, but not so much anymore. It's like when the hunting season ends, it really rolls right into food plot season, habitat projects, all of the above. And the Plot Start and Plot Boost have been there since the very beginning. That's a cornerstone for all of our plots. The Plot Start goes on at the beginning, Plot Boost goes on midway through. And since they came out with all of the fertilizers, that gets mixed in with the Plot Boost application as well. And I can't believe the results that we've been getting out of that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like I said, it's all the work now that really produces the results in the fall. So right now, anyone listening to the Hunter Podcast can use code HUNTER, HUNTR, for 15% off any of the products at deergrow.com.
Better food plots, bigger deer. Have you had any I think I asked you this last time, but did you had any in-depth discussions or disagreements even with they would be foresters, like forestry consultants who clash with or agree with you on certain aspects of that?
I think they'd be surprised as to how much we actually agree. And the reason I can say this is because one time I was hired, and they had their nephew, who was a forester and has been a forester for 25 years, walk the property with me. And he came into the visit. He's like, I got a bone to pick with you guys and Jeff Sturgis and people like that. I've done more for habitat than blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, but it ain't very strategic. And that's the reality. Like, use foresters. I use foresters on every single project. And we will butt heads on the plan. They're managing for the future of the forest, recutting. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to create good habitat and then maintain it, because I don't want to leave that heyday, because then the hunting gets shitty. So we always butt heads, but like, that's why I try to be as clear and concise as I possibly can when writing a report as to why, so that when this guy hands it to the forester and says, this is exactly how I want this cut, there's a justification, and at least that forester can go, all right, I at least know why he's doing it. Yeah. Most times you're gonna bump heads because we're doing it for two different reasons. Opening canopy in general, yeah, it's gonna help, but there's not always very much strategy behind it with a forester.
What is the sacrifice, do you think? Because, obviously you can't have 100% of both, one being managing for timber value and the other being managing for habitat. There's overlap for sure, but there's a give and take on both. I mean, can you boil it down, do you think, to, I'm sure it depends on the specific stand of timber, but it's like, if I say, hey, I want habitat as number one and timber as number two. How much money do I leave on the table over a 10-year span?
Well, that's exactly it. You're leaving money on the table by focusing more on deer. Because these areas where I'm quote unquote resetting them, I'm continuing to reset them every 3 to 5 years and not letting it get to year 10, 12, whatever. And then eventually in 30 years, it might have been harvestable again. I'm never allowing that to happen.
Right.
I want to keep my bedding areas in these strategic areas based off topography where these deer want to be. I want to just make that area better so that they want to be there more often. And so those are areas I continually reset where if I just let them regrow, at some point I could take the timber off that in another 25 in a popple stand, 25 years.
So essentially, and Jeremy, you're better with equations than I am. You could, in theory, take, okay, what is my average, per acre harvestable timber value over a 30 to 45 year, time frame, and then if I don't do that, if I'm resetting all this, what is that loss over that time frame? You could figure that number out if you were so inclined.
And here's what I asked people. I said, "Why'd you buy this property?" Oh, to hunt big deer. Okay, well then there's our answer.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't believe how many people are kind of like, well, they think they want it for big deer, but it's got to coincide with like the financial side of things. And I understand that sometimes like people aren't always all in on big deer as they think they are. Because I'll say this is exactly what we got to do. You might not make the money in the long run. Like, well, that money does sound good, and so it just depends on the scenario. But
there's multiple stakeholders, if you want to call them that. Like, and it's not at this black and white, but like my dad would say, I'm probably value first, just because in his mind that's good stewardship. He's like, but yes, we want to. Jared brought you out here, and so we want to. We're trying to get bigger deer here. I am probably deer first, but also I'm like, well, I don't want to like. Okay, how much money are we? That's why the equation is interesting to me. It's like, how much money are we leaving on the table here? Because like I don't want to shoot myself in the foot financially just for potentially bigger deer.
I'd say
if the neighbor's going to shoot him anyways. Yeah.
I'd say I say 1 in every 20 visits though. The guy specifically says to me, and thankfully he says, "Hey, the money doesn't matter here. Like let's do whatever we got to do." And I'm like, okay, now I know, and I'm glad people are transparent that way. Yeah. So now I know like to give them a plan that they're actually going to move forward with and feel comfortable with. Where like I don't know, people just got to be honest with their situation when I show up too. And 1 in every 20 visits, like that guy exists.
It's not a nominal number, right? But we were just talking about it on my Ohio farm, like. It was 1,000, and that farm hadn't been cut in 75 years, right? So we're cutting some big white oak and stuff off.
Yeah, it's time.
But you're still talking $1,000 an acre is what we took off of it. So if you're talking about a 20 or 30 acre section of like how much money am I leaving on the table over 50 years, like maybe it's $1,000 an acre.
Yeah, and depending on your timber type, $2,000 an acre. It just depends. Like I've seen good stands get cut, and it just depends. There's so many variables. Depends where you are. But yeah, no, I've seen $2,000 an acre. Depends if you got a lot of walnut. It could go even over that. But even $500 acre. Like if you got a big farm, that's still considerable. And going into like the different timber types, like it's not always about just like white oak and walnut. Like there's certain markets in certain areas. Like I just cut a bunch of yellow popple off of a farm, a bunch of tulip popple, and made oak prices in the right market, and you got to be in the right places, but
pallet wood and stuff.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just of need in those areas, and there's a lot of mills for it and a lot of different variables. But yeah, no, I mean, it is safe to say on a really good stand of timber, generally speaking, $1,000 an acre could be that number. Yeah. Especially with something that's 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was cut plus give or take, whatever, depending on your timber type.
So if it's a 20 acre area, are you willing to leave that?
20 grand. Yeah, that's about what you're giving up on a good stand. And a lesser stand, maybe $500 an acre. A premier stand, $2,000 an acre.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the big thought process for people to kind of get over. And I think the other one is it a forever farm, right? Versus an investment farm where the next guy who comes in may want it for deer hunting, but might be looking at for an investment, or might want to have trees because they're going to build a house there or whatever. Changes
the dynamic. Yesterday's client's like, hey, just so you know, this is a forever farm. I said, all right, let's crop tree release first and improve the quality of the timber so we make more money later on, and then let's do this pizza pie.
Absolutely.
So like, let's do it that way. Where if the guy's like, hey, I'm flipping farms and this is how we're going to do it, I might look at it completely different.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's how I would look at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he'll make money through crop tree release, and then he'll make money on more money logging, especially over the course of time doing it in swaths. So like he's going to make an astronomical amount of money, and then you give away your mineral rights maybe, and so you pay for the farm and then some. People don't realize this stuff exists, but it does.
Sure.
So he's got to be.
Ideally, there's some diversity too, where you can you can manage for your best quality timber stands where those exist, and you can manage for your best quality habitat where maybe the quality of timber is not there. Maybe it's not always. Does that make sense?
No.
So like where I have areas that are great white oaks, it's like, you
Yeah.
know, maybe I can manage for that great long-term value.
Sure.
But in other areas where it's
Oh, yeah.
not a great timber stand, it's like,
Yeah, recognize that and treat it accordingly.
right.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with that. Yeah, don't try to manage a shitty stand of timber by like just trying to crop tree release it. Like just reset it at that point and make it more valuable sooner by doing different things with it, I guess.
I think the question comes up though is like, are those shitty areas effectively the areas you want to create future bedding?
You hope
it's all
so.
based off of topography for me.
Right.
You put those deer where they probably want to be. I've purposely clear cut acres of certain portions of farms to try and put them where I want them to be. It works, but not as well as
because they don't want to be there.
It's cutting a leeward ridge, or something like that. So, yeah, you definitely just got to recognize those areas where they want to be and try and improve them so that they're there 80% of the time instead of 40% of the time, or whatever that number would be. Yeah.
Well, dude, in the midst of like all this traveling and stuff that you're doing, are you getting to work on any of your own like farm projects? Have you, like for years, or is that a thing that still
this year? I finally took some time, and I'm bringing on employees, interns, and people to kind of help me, and that's something maybe I'll pitch out here. Like, and I gotta be careful, but like we need to expand. I need to either, and maybe this is more of a private conversation, but I need to do you up your prices or do you bring on people and complicate the process? I don't know. It would take I would be very, very picky with anybody I bring on, because even yesterday's client, I keep bringing him up. He's like, I hired you for you. And so that's a whole dilemma in itself.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really have a lot of time. So guys are doing my projects, and that feels icky to me. But like, it's either they do it,
so
or
they're
I don't
getting
get it
done. And you're like hiring it out to local people?
Yeah, or buddies, or
friends,
especially on the home farm. Now the far away farms I had, like if you don't have somebody far away to keep tabs on your shit,
that's the ticket.
Then don't buy it. Like,
right.
That's a thing. So I have multiple farms in different areas, different directions, 9.5 hours away. If I don't know somebody, I'm screwed. So a lot of my projects are getting done. Not as much of my projects are even getting done by me, and that feels, I don't know. I just want to earn my deer. And so, but it's the sacrifice.
Kind of stressful too when you're like, no, it makes a big difference if I drop this line here or like 5 feet. There's some micro things that like if you're not there.
I wouldn't have did it that way, but I can't complain because it wasn't getting done otherwise.
Right.
And going back to the pressure of needing to kill big deer because people are watching online. I don't even get to work on my farms. Huh?
I know.
Like and the business is too good to like. Nah, I'm gonna take. And I do now. I take weeks off. I'm like, we got to focus on some of our own stuff just for my sanity. But yeah, no, it's legitimately at that point. I don't get to do really much on my farms anymore. I need people to help me.
Okay, so they are getting done. You're just having to coordinate,
but not the way I want.
Dude, honestly, I think it's pivotal. Like as we move forward and continue to, Jeremy and I might have slightly different strategies on this, but if we continue to buy farms out of state and or partner with folks in buying them, it will be based off their ability to be local, help us do work on the farm there, because that's a disadvantage that we're at being here from Pennsylvania. It's just like we can't get there. I can't trailer my tractors, out there all the time as much as it needs to get done. And dude, it's a freaking time consuming effort. Like, it's
you
like,
just don't know that until you get into it and you figure out. Like, once you buy those farms, you're like, I'll just make time. Like, no, you're not going to nearly get done what you want to get done just trying to accomplish it yourself. If you don't have contacts for these farms that are 4, 5, 9 hours away that can really handle your stuff for you, you're never going to get even remotely close.
I think on a remote farm, depending on like what the state it's in and the state you want to get it to, I think you have to be on them no less than like 3 to 5 times per year.
All day. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Without a doubt, for sure. I mean, to at least maintain.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe 1 or 2 of those is progress, and like 2 to 3 of those is.
Yeah, you're right. But that's why timbering can help, and so there's other things that hopefully you can do on these farms to make them better without you having to do the the lifting. But otherwise, yeah, like my Missouri farms, like I got a guy who I've become great friends with. Like I just stumbled into him on accident because a mulcher guy didn't show up one day. I found the dude. Like I don't even know how I found him, like on Google or something, and next thing you know, like great friend invites me over to his place to go hunt if I'm not seeing what I want to see. Like, but like I could trust him with anything. Like if he's got to fix something on my cabin, he's got the skills to do that. If he's got to do something in my timber, he kills booners. Like he's very with it as well. But he's also like, I'd rather just build properties than kill them anymore, dude. And so he has that passion. But thankfully, shout out to Cody. Cody takes care of a lot of my Missouri stuff, and like he's a lifesaver. So if I didn't have that, those farms would be shit compared to what they are. Yeah, it sucks. Like I'd love to work on them all, but like even if I didn't have this job, I don't know how I'm going 9 hours one way to work on them all the time and say, "Honey, I'll see you later." Like, it's not the reality of it. And you don't realize it until you get in these situations.
Well, dude, we've been talking for a while now about buying an Iowa farm, and I like for me, it's like I see the limitations that we have with our Illinois farm, which fortunately we've got some great relationships there locally that can help us get done what we need to get done, and we make those 3 to 5 trips per year. I just got back from one this week to make that happen. But moving forward, a contingency for me in a state like Iowa would be like, I've got to have either a partner out there and or, one or multiple people locally that can help us get the work done.
I feel like if there's a state given your guys' platform though where you could probably, or maybe you already know people, like, don't you think that'd be the state where maybe you could find somebody though? Like,
well, we do.
Oh yeah,
we do. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. So that,
yeah, you need it though.
But if I found a farm and it was just like, oh, there's nobody in that immediate area that is in my connections, or it's just not going to happen. It could be a great farm, but we know our limitations, Yeah,
it definitely plays a role. Yeah, no, without a doubt. Like I said, I
Kansas, same way. And are the connections we made on this podcast are what allow us to have those relationships and to consider farms in places like that.
I'm not going to say like I'm not going to buy a farm in an area because if it's the right value and it just makes sense, like I'll do it. But God, like
it's going to be tough.
Does it absolutely help if you have a guy that you can trust, which is just hard to find in general. But if you got that guy,
and with equipment, like, dude, what do you do if there's no tractor? Like,
yeah.
You're not getting shit done.
No, and it's not like I'm going to haul one like 9 hours one way.
No.
And especially like if you are going to haul one, what are you going to haul? A little 20 horse, like 30 horse? Like if I got a 12-acre field to plant, like, all right. Like,
dude, I used to cart my 47-horse Kubota with a drill from Pennsylvania to Kentucky, Kentucky to Ohio, back to Pennsylvania.
I believe it. That's just too much.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I don't even take it to Ohio
If you're a
anymore.
single man, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, with a family and stuff, it's just hard to justify.
I don't even get to Ohio 3 hours. That's why I'm going to sell that farm.
Yeah.
It's like I just don't get there. So it's like, yeah, it for sure makes me jealous of the backyard farms.
Yeah.
Where you can walk, in theory, walk out, whatever, it's 10 minutes away, and it's like, there's my farm.
My home farm, it's like, honestly, it's so shitty that if you kill a 130-inch deer, like it's a big deal in the area and everybody kind of wants to see it. And that's crazy to say in a state like Wisconsin, but I'm just not in a good area. So I'm sacrificing. Like, I'm not getting to hunt the caliber of deer, but just being able to walk out that door.
For sure.
Dude, it's everything.
No
Especially
brainer.
now that you get to the point where you got the family and like all these other properties are great, but like even these great properties, like I'm thinking about, I'm like, I only hunted there 2 days last year. I only hunted there 3 to 5 days. Like, what am I doing? It's got to make sense financially to own those farms, and so then I can justify it. But having something out the back door at even lesser quality, especially as life grabs a hold of you, like that's the move. Mm-hmm. That is the move. And I'll kill smaller deer for it, but they'll be consistent. I'll get or I guess my hunting opportunities will be consistent. I'll get the kids out.
Age related, Brett, or is it just genetics that they're?
I can make an argument about genetics, but it's hard to see the genetic potential when they never make it anywhere close age-wise.
Okay.
High pressure area.
Yeah. So just get to 3 years old and then get shot.
Dude, people are shooting 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds are a big deal. And so I've already kind of got a hold of all the neighbors. Maybe we sit down and we have that meeting.
How big is that farm?
That's just an 80-acre parcel for now.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked before about rolling properties, like sell one, 1031 it. Like, is there plans of building the home farm? Yeah. That makes sense.
Big as I can.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then maybe as the kids go off to college and get in high school, and maybe we're less busy. Like maybe you got some bigger farms in the more coveted areas, and
are you guys locked into that spot? Like, are your kids in school and stuff yet? Or
no, they're not in school, and the whole schooling thing, that's always a different topic.
Does your wife work?
Yeah, she works in anesthesia, but she
can go anywhere, right?
Yeah, but I mean, she's not. I mean, she's gonna slow down. Okay. She's probably not gonna have to. Hopefully. Yeah. Keep working, stay home with the kids. That's very important to us. Like the whole kid situation, man. It's just like I want to be in their lives as much as possible. So, could we move? Yeah, but I'm just not moving for big deer. I know it's maybe not the cool thing to say. I don't want to make my family do that. I'll buy the farms and I'll manage them from a distance with good people on my team, hopefully. But no, I'm going to make home as good as I possibly can, and I'm going to share my home farm with my dad. I'm going to share my home farm with my nephews. I'm going to share my home farm with my kids. It's going to be we're going to manage, but it's going to be a fun place. I don't want to ruin this for anybody, even on the home farm. That's just more important to me at this point. So, I'm going to try and expand upon that home farm. That's the goal.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Are your folks or are hers there locally? Like your family is in that area?
Yeah, one road over for her parents, and my parents are 20 minutes away.
Yeah. That's what it is for us. I mean, there's two major factors of, like, obviously there's pressure to move to, not pressure, but like you can see the appeal of moving to like a big deer area.
Do you think about it?
No, because of the two main things. Like for us, it's not in this order necessarily, but like our business is rooted here. Mainly like the ice cream shop. It's a fixture of Pittsburgh. And there's the opportunity to expand on stuff like that. So the business is local, and more importantly, it's our family, mainly Margie's family. We had a lot of nieces and nephews here locally and stuff, and like we're both very involved in their lives and stuff, and we can't move away from that.
No, I think maybe in your 20s it'd be a little bit easier to maybe pull that trigger and do that. Maybe it's something I thought about back then, but no,
it would have been pre-marriage, but like I would never give up what I have now, for that.
Nope.
That's not to say that like down the road, I don't know, 40s, you know what I mean? I could see us, because we don't have kids either, so it's a big dictator on this, is like I could see us splitting time in a bigger deer area.
Yeah.
For sure, because it's a seasonal business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, me and my wife, we even talk about splitting time, just more like just living someplace else in the country, maybe not deer focused, but yeah, there's that argument to be made. And then even when the kids are 18 and they get out of the house, like, I don't know, I just see it a lot with clients where like the wife is kind of off doing her thing and it's time for you to get back maybe into your passion. And now I'm out here for a month, honey. If you want to come out, come out. But like, then you can kind of do that thing too. There's that dynamic that will exist in a later stage in life, I think too.
Yeah.
And hopefully the wife comes along and we buy the right place where it's aesthetic enough and she loves it too. So then maybe she comes along. But yeah, I see that quite often where the guys, I'm here for the next 2 months.
It's interesting dynamic, dude. Our wives have never even seen our Illinois farm. Like we own a farm that she paid for.
They have no desire.
They've never even seen it.
Zero desire to see it.
Same here.
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah. I tried to get her into hunting for a little bit, but she was just like, that can be your thing.
Mine will be Kentucky, and frankly, it's in a shitty deer area. But it's just, I like the area, and I don't know. I'm more content with just managing and hunting an area that I like and having other things at my disposal.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
And maybe that will be the home farm. I don't know. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that, man. And that's just where I'm at mentally too. I want to be home.
What is it for you, Jeremy, that does it to that area? What do you feel drawn to that area? Is some of her family down there?
No, they're 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away.
I know you bought the cabin down there years ago, but I've always kind of wondered, like,
so she went to school in Eastern Kentucky, so that's where she went to college and like had been in that area, and so yeah, I don't know. I think now having had it for a while, it's a couple things. One, I think the people are awesome. Like, dude, people in Pittsburgh suck. They're assholes.
That's one thing I genuinely remember about living in Kentucky was the people.
Dude, they're great.
Yeah.
Like I can wave to people. I can stop and talk to neighbors and stuff. Like people just are dicks here.
100%.
So like people are great. I think that most of from a state standpoint, sure, you can argue the politics and stuff, but like taxes are fantastic. Right, we just talked about 97 acres is $240 in taxes.
Yeah.
Land prices are cheap. I bought most of my land for under $1,700 an acre. And so, and it has, a pretty liberal deer season. I mean, we start first Saturday in September, and run through mid-January.
You guys do a lot of fishing down there too, right?
We have a huge lake. We have the best muskie fishery in the South right there, right next to us. Yeah. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just everything about it. Weather's great too. Like we don't get a ton of super cold and snow down there, but it also doesn't get like insanely hot and humid in the summer.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for Kentucky. Like that's probably my favorite state to hunt. The people are good. The quality of deer is better than people realize in certain areas. Regulations are solid.
You can always get better.
Yeah. The reality is it's so hot and nasty down in some of those spots. Like nobody's hunting until the first week of November. That's their gun season. They hit it hard. Well, then they shut it back off.
We talked about that. I guess that was with Josh and Scotty when they were on here. Is that so in Kentucky? Obviously, first Saturday in September is when archery starts, but CrossFit doesn't start for 2 weeks later.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. Yeah,
and then gun season comes in on the first Saturday of November, and so essentially there aren't a lot of crossbow hunters because they're like, well, gun season starts first week of November. It's hot in September. I don't want to hunt. And so I think it's still 70 or 71% of the harvest is by gun in the state of Kentucky. So it's kind of traditionally set up to be a gun-heavy state, which, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, et cetera, all were at one point in time. But since crossbows have not, right? They've leaned heavier in archery. I think it favors a lot of places, especially if you have a bigger piece of land, to manage for older age class deer and then therefore better quality deer because of it. because you just got it, yes, gun season overlaps the rut.
Yeah, it's right smack dab.
And it is a bait state for sure.
Yep.
But the number of hunters in that state is super low. It's like 240,000 or something.
And like I said, even of the guys that are hunting, and you've kind of proved it with those gun statistics there, like very few guys are going out the first half of the season. Like the amount of times I'd be on an e-bike and I'd have to lift my feet up because I'm like, oh, cottonmouth, oh, copperhead, oh, like snakes, like
Snake City, man.
like chiggers, ticks, like just you walk 100 yards, you have 40 of them on you. Like, so that's a thing early season. So people stay out of the woods, they hit it hard for a week and they shut it right back off. You can go on public land, you can get on 150, 160 inch deer if you hunt around a little bit in December on a random week. You can do it in that state.
It's a lot of public land in that state too.
Yes, there is.
So yeah, it's a cool place, but yeah, and I mean, sure, am I gonna grow 200-inch deer there? Probably not, but like the chances, I've already seen it. Like I can grow older age class bucks. They're hard to kill and they're few and far between. I have a super low deer density, but the more that we talk on this podcast, the more I'm like, maybe I'd rather have a super low density than have to deal with a high density. And
certainly issues that come along with it.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'd agree with you. For sure.
Yeah. So that's it. No, we're talking whatever, 8-10 years in the future of a first chance to move because a kid's in school.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm trying to redirect a lot of money into a farm or farms here to spend more time, just with where the kids are and where life's going to hold me down for.
And you'd 1031 most likely?
Absolutely.
That just always scares me. They're like, I don't want to be trapped into buying something I didn't love.
Sure.
And so I'll take that hit a lot of times. And
I was going to ask that about.
It's considerable. Most times I will just take the hit because I don't want to be forced into buying the wrong farm.
I think that makes sense. As long as you haven't found one first. There's a process there.
Isn't the best way to do it just to find one off market first to get it under contract contingent on the sale of your farm?
Yeah, easier said than done though.
Yeah.
To find a farm. Like I'm very picky with what I buy. Like there's certain things that I'm just looking for. And so to find the right one, like I'm searching right now. And I'm looking every single day and I just.
Odds are though, when you find it, it'll be off market, I assume.
50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just quick to buy. If I see them on market, I don't give people a chance.
Do you have farms in your head that you're like, if I find one, I'd sell this one to roll it?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're at that level where you can kind of.
It's this is gonna sound a bit psychotic, but there's a lot of farms I buy sight unseen because I've so much experience with looking at maps, and I know guys will be like, you can't tell shit from a map. I can. And I've proven it by buying the right farms and stuff like that. And now if there's a pre-recorded like a tax basis done or like a timber appraisal.
Appraisal
to also like
even
push
better.
me in that direction.
Sure.
Like
no brainer.
I buy farms the day that they come up, and I'm gonna get aggressive. And most of them I don't go physically step foot on anymore.
The hardest part seems like, and not that boots on the ground necessarily solves this unless you literally go talk to neighbors, but even then,
it's neighborhood.
Yeah, unless you go and experience like 2 or 3 seasons with some neighbors there, it's like that's probably the biggest challenge of especially buying sight unseen. Is like, how do you know the neighborhood? Is it just because you
don't? But I either know the neighborhood because I've even like when somebody hires me now, it's like.
No, I know that neighborhood.
You scroll out a little bit. Like, I've already been within 2 miles, 3 miles. I've done your neighbor's properties. Yeah. I had a guy one time. He bought a property that I sold, and he was like, he got a hold of me not knowing it. So like stuff like that even happens at this point. But no, like it's a risk you take for sure, but you don't know until you're kind of there anyway. So like it's always a risk no matter what. But like the one farm I have in far western Kentucky right now, there's one guy that gun hunts and he's from Alabama. Like that buck, the property that I was telling you about where I've had 10 bucks in one picture, one guy gun hunts. Like we went there and it was like, are we here on the right day?
Yeah.
Like so
nobody's there.
He's got lucky with that one, but had the bare bones that I wanted.
Seems like it does seem like it's luck at least 50% of the time. You're like, oh hey,
you never know.
I think that, and again, it depends if you're looking for like the final farm versus like an investment farm or something to sell. Like, dude. I don't really care where I'm at. If I look at a map, I'm confident enough in myself that I'm like, I'll make it the best farm in that area. Yeah. Now, given there could be neighborhood restrictions, this neighbor kills every 3-year-old. This neighbor, shoots the first buck he sees. But still, that farm will be the best farm in the area.
I have enough experience seeing farms. I feel the same way.
Frankly, from time and money standpoint, more than anything, I'm just like, I'm going to spend more time.
I'm going to do more than you.
Yeah.
I'll push back a little bit. I think managing for huntability is really challenging.
What do you mean?
I think that like
from seeing a map, you don't think you could find a farm that say, "Yep, I could turn that in the best farm in the area."
Not the most huntable farm, no.
What do you mean by huntable? Because I agree with you on this.
Access, basically.
Well, you see that from the map.
Yeah, but you pick that, right?
Yeah. But I wouldn't just say I can turn any farm into a farm with good access.
I'm just saying if you look at a farm for sale and you look at that and you're like, okay, it has access.
I can determine if it has good access or not.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can say I can make this the best farm in the area.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I agree with that.
With that baseline.
And that's how I buy my farms now. I don't give other people a chance. Like people are like, oh, hey, honey, you want to go tomorrow and go check that property out? Nope. I got it. Like, it's just what's going through my head. And then you always try to get the realtor involved that's trying to sell it because maybe he's a little bit more motivated. He's getting more of a commission then too.
Oh, dude, I always make sure I try to do a dual agency for them.
Yeah. So,
because they want to sell it at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So they're a little bit more motivated. They're a little bit more willing to work with you and kind of be on your side to a certain extent maybe too.
I just make sure I hand them that check in person. So it's locked.
Do you use realtors to sell your farms? Have you sold many of your farms?
25% of the time now.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you could post something now, especially that's a nice thing about having a following or just having clients. You just kind of tell somebody because a lot of times people are like, "Hey, if you ever see anything," and you just shoot them a text, and that's what it is. Like it was a follower that bought my Missouri farm. Yeah, I mean maybe
that's a substantial savings.
Yeah,
that's
considerable.
Substantial.
It's considerable. So, on occasion, I've used some realtors, but not really anymore.
So 25% of the time, you do use a realtor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just close with an attorney or settlement company.
Pay that realtor $2,000 and he'll handle it. Fine. Or you've got a realtor with a good relationship with a good realtor. Sometimes you just cut him a little check on the side, and then he'll handle all the paperwork and facilitate the closing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of paying him $30,000.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know.
He probably doesn't love that, but he's still making at least whatever, a little bit of jing on the side.
Yeah,
well, but yeah, you put a lot of effort into building, following and people that are subscribing, and so you have that. That's one of the benefits
that's
for
the perk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Gateway One Boots.
Yeah, man. Dude, boots and just footwear in general are just such a big part of the overall system. You know, when you talk about apparel from bows to tree stands to the boots are the one piece that always goes on top of the bin. And it's a big deal, something we haven't talked a lot about until we've landed on a boot that we really are enjoying.
Yeah, and I mean, you and I both are rubber boot type of guys when it comes down to our bow hunting side of things. And as we think about it, there are some concepts around the boots that we want. We want an athletic fit, which is kind of weird to discuss when you're talking about boots. We don't want it just big and floppy.
Hugs the toes.
Exactly. We want to be able to have a good all-season boot, but also a warm boot when
Keeps
it counts.
the toes warm.
And we need good grip on the bottom so we're not slopping around and sliding around on the mud.
Keeps the toes moving.
There you go. And so Gateway One Boots covers all of those things. They have features that focus on all of those. From the woodwalker to the pro shooter when we're talking about that one that's going down to the negative 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And ultimately just an overall boot that's going to perform throughout the entire hunting season for ourselves.
That's right. We've been wearing them for a couple months, and we just can't be happier with all those aspects that you just ran through. And so if you're looking to get into a pair, you can use code HUNTER, HUNTR, on the GatewayOneBoots-USA.com website. I know that's kind of a mouthful. If you Google Gateway One Boots, you can use our promo code there for a discount.
Tough by nature.
So where to from here, Brad? Are you guys, you said you're wrapping up the season?
Yeah, I'm shutting it down for the year. It's just, like I said, this year it truly exploded. I mean, you guys definitely helped with the first podcast that we did like that. I owe you guys a thank you for that.
You got some traction from that?
Yeah, it definitely made there was a leap there. There was a definite little leap.
I got to admit, it's funny recalling that first conversation. Dude, you were worked up in the first half of it. And it was our first time meeting, I think. And the first half, I was like, this guy is a lot. And then eventually we found some.
I think I was probably like 8 cups of coffee.
Yeah. You were deep.
Eventually and I was trying to figure out, I was like, does he know what he's talking about or no? and then eventually we found some common ground, and I really enjoyed the latter half of it. And ever since then, I kept up with your socials. I enjoy your takes and the stuff you put. I know you do it to be facetious or whatever, but like I've come to really enjoy your personality and stuff too. So we've come a long way since the first half.
Well, dude, when you're passionate about something, like it's the one and only topic I'm like this about.
Sure.
If we're at a family event.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah.
I'm back in the corner.
Until somebody asks you about deer hunting.
Yeah. But even then, like sometimes you're like, I don't want to talk about any more deer hunting.
Yeah.
Like that happens too. But yeah, you get me on a property, like it's a different human being. So I completely understand that. Like I can't be drinking too much coffee before a podcast because I ain't gonna shut up. Like I'm passionate about it for sure. But yeah, no, coming on the podcast, I definitely had a little bump there. Prior to that, just kind of posting online and saying, hey guys, I don't like where the hunting industry is at. I don't like where I'm at personally in my hunting journey. People just came out of the woodworks and were like, oh, that's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And then the business really exploded like another 100% really since last year. And it was already everything I could have ever dreamed of. And so, yeah, man, it's at the point I got to figure it out. I got to expand. But if I do, it's got to be with the right guys. And that's always going to be tough. It's going to be hard to delegate. Do you just charge more? Yeah, do that. But then I I feel bad about that 40-acre guy that I want to help.
Sure.
I don't know if I knew it at the time, but the reason I got into this was to help people. And sometimes my personality does come off a little bit forward, a little bit like I'm okay with saying whatever I am, but I also have like a big heart for helping people. And when I'm sitting on the couch at 8:30 at night on a Saturday and some guy is like, dude, look what my daughter just killed. Like,
that's awesome.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, been an insane year. I'm shutting it down for the year.
So what does that look like for the like here moving between now and deer season? You know, essentially, are you
going on vacation next
you
week.
Shut it off, and it's like is this seasonal business in that aspect, or
yeah? Well, I mean, we're going to start booking for next. I mean, I already got guys into next April. Not that the schedule is booked until next April, but if you want to get something like on the calendar with us, like you need to do it now, and definitely do it before the rut, because that's when everybody gets frustrated and like. So gotta do something.
Peaks up in your bookings.
Get on the calendar now, because, and I'm not even trying to just push people to do it, but like it ain't. I can't do this again next year.
Well, so when do you get back on it again? What is the consulting season?
December.
Yeah,
first week of December, it's go time again, right after Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of free time. That's awesome. Like,
I take the whole fall off, and then we'll do some content for partners and stuff like that. Shoot them our deliverables, and they'll use them in commercials or ads or whatever that stuff too. So there's that dynamic of the company as well. So I guess we're like still working, but I get to hunt all fall whenever I want. But there's the guilt factor of having kids, so I don't do it like I used to. I used to just get up on a whim one morning and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna drive 9 hours this morning. And wife's like, all right, see ya.
Is there still like a servicing of clients? Like, like you said, hey, it's August or whatever, and guys like, hey, dude, I'm frustrated, or like, what should I be doing with this food plot? We're in a drought.
I don't ever not get back to people.
Yeah.
It feels wrong. And at this point, it's almost impossible. And sometimes they shoot me another email because I missed one or something like that. I'm here to help. I say that at the end of every visit. And I almost, in the back of my head, I'm like, Brett, you need to stop saying that. Because, like,
it's a growing snowball.
Yeah, you can't. Like, but I do. And the family definitely, I mean, there's some sacrifice to be made there where I'm at home and I'm buried in my phone sometimes, and I hate everything about it. So it's time to expand, build. I don't know. And what's the perfect guy look like? I don't know. Like, he's got to have some sort of hunting resume. Like, he's got to have killed some big deer to tell people how to kill big deer.
Sure.
But also just be really well versed in an area, be able to write a good report, have good vocabulary skills. Well,
I was going to ask, are you writing reports for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the other reasons I quit doing it.
Dude, brutal. That's by far the way.
I love being on a property and talking to people and just like downloading, but then when I get off the property and I'm like, what the hell did I even just say?
See, I retain a lot of, especially when I go back to those maps where I was dropping waypoints.
Yeah.
Like, I can take myself back to that place. But I'd love tomorrow to just stop offering that. But the reality is, you said it, I'm a talker. You are not retaining a quarter of what I say on that visit. You need it on paper.
Yeah.
And so I try to repeat myself a lot on visits with the important aspects, but you got to have this shit on paper.
Do you think so? I mean, have you gotten feedback from clients on what revisiting the report looks like? Because, like, I'm not a reader. Like, you could give me a report and I'm like, it's just not going to be the best thing that I can receive from a visit.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. Like, some people, there's some people just aren't big readers.
I don't know what it would be.
It is a tangible asset, though. Like, there is part of the transaction that's like, I got this.
Yeah, right? It definitely is. But you just do your best to format that report appropriately so that there's sections. They can take little bites at a time. Sure. And there's tables. And here's your exact pounds per acre for that food plot. And here's your timing. You try to make
timing's important. If you can give me a bullet point from year 1, here's what this section looks like. Year 2, here's the steps.
You try to just make it
There's no way to put everything into a report, though, right? Like, I think about how much coordination goes around, like, even just this clear cut project. It's been 3 years in the making, like, leading up to it.
Yeah, and you don't, because you don't want to overwhelm a client. You need to hit them with the hard hitting 70% of the farm first, and then let's micromanage later.
And then they text you along the way.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
the reality of it. But I'm here
to
help. Yeah, I can't do everything, but I try to help where I can, for sure. It's just
we do that. We rely on people constantly to be like, hey, what's this rate again? How, what to mix this stuff and this and that. So we're always reaching out to people, try not to abuse the relationship. But
no, it's something that I think is important. I never could have dreamed that it turned into this. Like, it's exploded. And I even wanted to say this to you guys, like, off air, but like, even like you guys, like, I don't really know you guys well, but just to see what you guys have accomplished, like, you're just doing it every day. So you don't realize, you don't see it from my perspective or somebody else's. Like, I know this is weird to say because I don't know you. I'm like proud of you guys because, like, you're in a 1% category for what you guys are doing. And like, I feel like I'm working towards that in my sector as well. And it's just, I try to step back.
You mean from a podcast standpoint?
Well, yeah, just everything you guys have built up to this point. Like, guys, it's
I thought
really
you were saying we're
impressive.
great hunting for Saturday. I was like, oh, I was really honored.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, not so much, but
No, but like you said, like we didn't know each other, especially coming off the first podcast. But like looking at what you guys have accomplished in the context you have and just like everything that you've grown, like I'm also trying to do that. And I try to step back now and just smell the roses on occasion, but it's very hard to do when you're in that seat.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's there, and thank you to everybody, but it's time to figure something out. I have to.
Well, yeah, I mean, that I think everybody has reached that level. Like, I know, like, Sturgis did it. You know, he hired other people, and,
Yeah,
I think
Dylan
Higgins,
yeah.
and Kevin Smith. I think the hardest part, though,
is it just you right now?
Yeah, it's just me, and I got guys that are possibly going to help next year. I got to make sure they're the right guys.
well, and that is the hardest part that you'll probably encounter as the business owner, is that most people picking up the phone or writing you a DM are expecting Brett to show up at their property.
I know.
So to build trust in them that somebody else under your brand can deliver the same results, that's a hard task.
And maybe they go to like the client that's more beginner too.
Sure.
Like
there you go.
You know, that's the thing. And I think we would introduce these guys into our media so people knew them before they showed up. YouTube videos, like and all these other things. Like people need to know these people before they show up.
For sure.
Well, think about the diversity of properties and clientele that we've talked about. And you've openly stated like, hey, I'm the hammer that timber guy, and you have core strengths. And so maybe you aren't it for somebody else, but you would like to service them. So essentially, you're looking at building out somebody with. I don't think you hire another Brett. You hire somebody who's got a slightly different outlook on things.
A compliment.
They don't need
Brett.
to be me.
Right.
They don't need to be me. No,
right.
But they got to be. They got to have their own ways of helping people. That's
and
okay.
so when
I
you
need them to
see,
be their own person.
okay, here's this type of property, and I have gauged based off the initial email or phone call that we had. This person's going to jive well with this person. This person's enjoys properties like this. This is you, and then you delegate. You have more of a dream team than just 5 Bretts.
It is very critical though that the outside potential consumer sees them in your wildlife land management stuff. They have to be able to say like that is a recognizable person. It's not
agreed.
So and so shows up and I'm like, who is this guy? Yeah, he works for Brett, but like I've never even seen him before.
I feel like I have a lot of different aspects of my business very dialed, and that's why it's been as successful as it's been. But the one thing that I think I will struggle with is one, delegation. But yeah, it is delegation. It's
giving
like
up control.
Finding the guy though that's right, and like just not expecting him to be me. Like and just like I guess being a boss, and like am I asking him too much? Because the only reason I think this ever got to this point is because I'm insane for it. Like I'm a little bit delusional for it. And I can't expect that out of the next guy. And that's going to be hard for me. And so I'm not going to know where that line is. Like, am I pushing this guy too far? Am I asking him to do too much? Like, that's going to be an issue for me. But like, I'm not bringing on the wrong guy either. Because I can't have, and it would happen, but I can't have one client get a hold of me and say, hey man, that was not what I wanted.
It's your reputation too.
And so therefore, if I do bring somebody somebody on, I've already thought about this. Like I'm still going to look at every single report, reread. I have to be part of it.
So basically be the overseer.
So I'm still going to be a part of every single report, assuming that we grow this thing, but something I'm working through. So if somebody feels as if they're qualified, reach out. I mean, I get people to reach out every week, and it's got to be the right guy. Like there's certain things I look for, and I'll be honest with you, I'll just try to weed out the bad apples. Like if a guy sends me an email and he can't write complete sentences and all these, you're out.
You're out.
Respectfully. Got to have a decent resume as far as what have you killed in that state that make you an expert? Like what are you doing on your farm? Show me.
He's like, what have you killed, Brett?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sitting here with little.
Is that Instagram is the best way for people to get a hold of you, or what's the preference?
Yeah, Instagram, or you send me an
website.
I see emails probably quicker than anything. That's just whitetaillandmanagement@gmail.com. But one thing I've even done in the past when trying to maybe find the guy, send me a 3-minute video. I want to see you talk. I want to see you communicate.
That's a good one.
That is a big part of the job, being able to communicate to clients. So that's important too. I
think just my speculating as to who it might be is like I think that frankly, unmarried, no kids is as far as the schedule is.
There's some young gunners in this industry that are kind of upcoming that I've seen work for other people. I'm like, maybe that guy's.
You need somebody ambitious, right? You need a self-starter.
Yes.
You can't be micromanaging.
Probably somebody that ends up leaving one day and does their own thing. That is the
danger, right?
Yeah.
You essentially have to make it so attractive that they don't want to.
Yeah. I got one of those guys in mind right now. He's just a little too young, but he's he's a farm kid, work ethic.
Yep.
He's working on his communication skills. He's got the potential, but yeah, I'm just gonna be very picky with it because I don't want to push off something bad onto a client.
Well, Jeremy and I think both would give you the advice of like, it will happen. Like, as you grow your business, like you will have, it's not going to be to your level 100%. Like they're going to make mistakes.
So what do you
exactly what is what I'm saying? You allow it to happen, and you expect for it to happen, but so the growth is going to outpace, mistakes that are made and you'll be able to remedy those. It's like,
that's where you intervene. You put the fires out.
Otherwise the business doesn't grow and you're constantly controlling everything and you're stressed out. And so you have to become okay with,
and it affects your personal life.
And you guys see this with kids and stuff. You got to let them like be their own person and allow them to develop. And then they'll show you things that you never, even knew. And then hopefully they're better than you are, or in some and then you become inclined to grow the business to keep up with, like, so you can keep them there. I feel that way with our ice cream shop. It's like we have people that are so good and they work so hard. I'm like, if I don't grow this business, they're going to leave. And so I feel motivated so that they can make more money. And so that's tied to your nature of helping people. Is like, great. And then in the end, you have this super successful business that you've grown out of the desire to keep all of your, help all of your employees grow to their maximum potential.
I don't even know who that future employee 100% is yet, but I dream of the day where I can truly take care of them because they earned that position. I dream of like paying them something they never thought they could make in another
It's out
industry.
there. It exists.
Like I need that guy, but like you need to show me something special like that.
Right.
I got to delegate. I can't reciprocate or recreate another version of me. I'm aware of that. It's got to be the right guy. And I will take care of that person because you have to, because they would leave otherwise. And maybe they still do, but
that's right. You got to be okay with
I
that.
ask business owners on site, I'm like, how do you deal with employees? Like make it worth their while. Like you got to pay them right. Take care of your good people.
Let them make mistakes and expect for it to happen.
Yep. I'm okay with that.
Because look at the mistakes you made, we all have, it's like, all right, so I have to be willing to let other people make those mistakes. And
that's fair. Yeah. So we'll just see. I don't know. I mean, something's got to change for sure. I just can't be as gone as much now. When the little girl is sitting there, Dad, don't.
Yeah, it's not good.
It'll get you. So
yeah, it's tough, man. And it's that is the sacrifice that you make. Is there will be imperfections on the business side so that you can be better on the personal side.
Yeah. Assuming we move forward with it, though, I just want people to know that I'm always going to have a piece of. I'm not going to overlook every little micro.
No, but I think that's a good.
I will be in on every report.
Yeah,
and we'll be having conversations on the back
or at
end
least accountable for it.
It's your brand.
Without a doubt, accountable. It is my brand. Yes, absolutely. So if things slip up, we'll fix them. That's just how you got to attack it, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it is it's an art, not a science on the wildlife land management side, right? Yeah. Like it's you look at it different than anybody else will look at it different, know. So it's just a matter of finding the right common core, result type producing areas and investing in those and making the right recommendations. And
I think that's one of the most fascinating things about deer hunting in general and like in the industry as well is that like they're really, unlike some other things, there really isn't a right way to do it.
There's not.
No.
It's like you can have success so many different ways and fail so many different ways too. And so on one hand, I think that's why so many hunters get taken advantage of. That's why like we buy stupid shit from Walmart, or we have for years, just because so-and-so on TV said it was great. Because we'll believe anything, because we're like, nobody knows how to really do it. And there isn't a right way.
No.
But it's also, a lot of, it's cool on the back end too, because, and I think as you're building your team and you're continuing to do consultants and stuff, it's just like, you'll continue to have your own style and.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Like I said, I don't know, something I got to do carefully, pick the right guys and build the best team possible and just take care of the client. And that's all it comes down to, is making sure the client's happy and giving them the results that they're looking for. So
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
So as you're winding down now, do you have plans to go to some of these farms still in the summer? Like, I know there's family time and coming, but
I don't have any plans, but it'll happen. I'll be popping down to some of these Kentucky farms or the Missouri farm. I'll definitely make my way down there. But more so just planning for the hunts, having people take care of those farms. That's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm just trying to line up that schedule. I might go down to Kentucky now for like the opener because I kind of screwed up with my elk hunting strategy. I like to elk hunt. Like something about mano-y-mano in the mountains, like going after an animal in his own element instead of farming for an animal like we do. That's very fun to me. But I screwed up with my Montana time. I missed the timeline.
Oh, no.
on that. So I might go rifle hunt Colorado just to get some meat in the freezer. That's more important than anything to me. This is getting the meat in the freezer for elk hunting. But no, it's going to be more based around, I might get down to them, but they're handled. You know, I got people to handle them. So I'll get down there for the hunts and make the most of it.
What does that look like? Is this something you know going into the season, or is it kind of like let the cameras tell you?
So if I can get that Montana tag, I will be out there the first week of September with like a leftover tag if I can grab one. Otherwise, the first week of September, I will have something to kill on a Kentucky farm. And it'll be in velvet. And I've done it before. I've killed some velvet deer on the ground. I actually sat in the water one time and I killed a deer in a ditch because it was where they were crossing to go to the bean field. And the wind was wrong, but the thermals of the water were pulling this way. So I stayed below. And the camera guy said, "It's him." He saw him. He came down, and I shot him sitting on one of those little pop-up chairs on the second day of season. But so I'll be out there for one of the two for early September. September will be probably a time I focus. Late September will be a time I focus on the home farm. That's a good early season farm, similar to the way you talk about your Kentucky farm. I got to be there early season. I got to plant my food for early season. I got to capitalize early season, and then Missouri will work into my back half of the season into late season if I need it. We've planted accordingly for that.
And that home farm, did they just start moving out when acorns start dropping or pressure?
Bad quality timber for now. And so when the leaves come off, it's dead ash swamp. Like it's a biological desert with canary grass underneath. So I'm doing everything I can from a food aspect to kind of ramp that up right now, but then manage the timber for the future so that it holds them the entire season. I got to kill them before the leaves drop on that farm, or you don't kill them. You could drop 1,000 pounds of corn illegally late in this year, and it wouldn't make a difference. They're just not even in the neighborhood anymore. They just shift off. So
sounds exactly like my place.
Yeah.
So then, and Missouri is kind of your main Midwest, like with that you own a farm there.
Yeah. So now it's transitioned to I have way more real estate in Kentucky.
Okay.
Like we've talked about, land's cheap there.
Yeah.
And I think it's about to explode. Most of even my investments or personal properties now have shifted to Kentucky because you can get land at a cheap price. It is a $1 state, which stinks when you own multiple farms, but it's going to benefit somebody else in the long run because they're going to be untouched.
Sure.
But I lived there for years, guys. People don't realize how good some of these areas are. I drove around for the 3 to 4 years that I lived there, probably 3 years. And I remember maybe going out. We'd go out 3 or 4 nights a week. I remember going out maybe 2 times where we didn't see a Pope and Young buck. And I'm not talking about 125s. Like I'm talking about the 150s and up. They were everywhere. And so now I own a farm in, debatably, in my opinion, after seeing all the farms I've seen, the best neighborhood I possibly could. There's 200s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's, and they're just a gnarly genetics similar to some of these Ohio deer. I'm putting a lot more time into Kentucky right now. But who says I don't find the right farm back in Missouri? Again, that gets me to spend more time on those farms. But the regulations are also like,
well, it's tough because, if you kill one early, like you said, then it's like, okay, Kentucky's off the board for you personally, essentially.
Yeah, then I'm gonna focus on the home farm and then shift to Missouri. And if I kill $3, then I'll call it a year.
Yeah, call it good.
The old me would have never done that. I've killed $5, I think, in 1 year in 9 days of only hunting. And I was in the woods with 160 plus inch deer in every single one of those scenarios. Like there was a deer that I was hunting of that caliber. I didn't kill all of those deer. A couple of them I did kill that year, but I killed 5 deer in 9 days of hunting, and I killed an elk, but that took 9 days. So that screws up the statistics on that. But
I shot at 5 deer last year.
Really?
You did?
I killed 3 of them. I killed 4 of them, technically.
How are you in the moment of truth? Like, okay, you missed a couple deer. Why did you miss a deer? Like, do you lose your shit?
I only missed 1.
Okay.
Missed 1, and it was... truthfully, I don't know. It was the very last one of the season. It was. These are all factors. I really don't know which one ultimately led to the miss here, but it was super cold. It was very, very cold. It was like a late season. It was a January hunt. It was the furthest shot of the year. It was 47 yards.
Yeah, it's a poke.
It was an awkward angle.
Yep.
I was crouched way down.
I do it too.
Thing over here.
Yep.
And I hit a limb. Pretty close to me, not close to the deer.
Yep.
It could have been solely because of the limb. I really don't know. But like it wasn't even close. It was like way over his back.
Okay.
It felt good when it went off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know why I missed that. But
I'll be the first to admit I still get pretty riled up. It's hard for me to pull it together sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, it really is. And like, dude, I made a post last year. I was sitting in the tree stand and like, I don't generally get this way with does, but something about that doe that came in that day, like maybe I just knew I was going to kill her. Like I had to close my mouth because I thought she was going to hear my heartbeat. So I know I'm still tore up with it pretty good. I'd rather they come in fast and just let my actions take over. But yeah, I still lose it from time to time.
So
man.
it's still there. I mean, we talked about that
It
earlier,
is.
and that like you're trying to find the fun again. Like the The climax is still there.
It's still down in there. I mean, if I had to be honest with you, my wall is fine, but it would be almost double as good if I could pull it together in some of the moments.
So here, this is not going to sound super fun or sexy or anything, but like, do you do any yoga, any like cardio exercise things? Are you familiar with? You said you take your health very seriously. Can you control your heart rate? Do you know how to do that?
I don't know if I know how to control it, and I guess I monitor it, but I'm not like trying to stop it. I mean, I guess through breathing exercises. No, I use breathing exercises and stuff like that.
That's all I'm doing when they're coming in is controlling my breathing, controlling my keeping the widths.
I'm gonna have to try it, and it's crazy because I guess I do a lot of that stuff. I do the fitness side of things, obviously, and
it's a mental game. I mean, dude, when they're coming. You have one, you can either not control it and it can fall apart. You can get lucky and still pull it off, or you can be intentional about controlling your heart rate and your breathing and execute.
I legitimately got to close my mouth because I think they're going to hear my heart beating out of my chest sometimes. So that would make sense.
You have to decide, like you have to make a conscious decision. Dude, yoga was one of the best things that I ever, and it's not like I do yoga every day. When the gyms were closed during 2020 and stuff.
Exactly when I did it.
That's when I did it. And I figured out how to control breathing and how to, especially under times of stress, and that's control.
And it's good if you got like a sports injury or something like that too, to kind of loosen you back up.
That had a direct application, I think my success in the moment of truth went dramatically up after that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's something I'm gonna have to bring.
I smoked 4 of the 5 last year. All the ones that they were torched them all.
Yeah, and I smoked them all last year, heart shots. That is one of my problems, though, is like in the past I've had deer duck, and so you start aiming for the heart, and then they don't duck, and then you're brisket shooting them, and so it's like you just got to try and do your best to
shoot
read
a faster bow.
No, I can't. Like I don't make them much faster unless I grab that 90-pounder.
I got mine coming. I thought I was going to be here today.
I'm ripping an 83, probably 83, 84 pound bow.
Yeah, that's plenty fast.
Yeah, it's a good setup. I mean, I'm all about the speed, but yet having a heavy enough arrow to where I could drive through that sucker quartering too, and I've been using the Bomars broadheads, and now we're definitely going to be using them probably this year.
I haven't had a blood trail one yet. Everyone, I think
me neither.
I think the 3 or 4 that I shot all combined went less than 100 yards.
I like them. I like them, man. And I got away from good shots. I got away from expandables for a long time. The deflections, the running down the ribs, like you ain't going to get me to shoot another one of these again. I'm like, I'll buy into the hype. I'll try them. So I tried them before I ever even talked with the guys or anything too. And I was like, damn, they seem to perform. So I'm back on the expandable train for now.
It's whatever you're confident with. I mean, there are clear advantages of one over the other, but the bigger hole you can put in them, in the right spot, that's better.
And if you got an 80-pound bow behind it too, like you should hopefully have 2 holes.
Yeah, create some trauma.
Yeah.
Find blood. Can't find them if you can't follow a blood trail.
Nope.
That's a big deal, though. We don't talk about that enough. Is that moment of truth and control and keeping yourself collected. And I think that is what separates killers from stories.
I'd agree. And it's like an evolution because for so long I was high lunging deer. Okay, now we go to the heart. All right, now they're not ducking. So it's always just trying to read the situation the best you can. You're never going to be perfect with it, but yeah, like there was a period of time where I was just going behind the shoulder, whatever, in the middle, and then you high lung them at 40 yards, because it's 40 yards, but so then you started aiming for that heart, and then all of a sudden he didn't duck, and sometimes you barely just skip the bottom of the heart, and so now I'm at that point where
I hate those heart shots. That's
how I kill most of them. It's either I get them or I don't, and I'm going to find them right away or I don't.
Dude, to me, there's nothing more deadly than a dead center, not center mass, but like double lung hit. They do not like that.
No. Yeah, they don't like that.
Those hard hits, man. And I was getting a lot of them, mainly, and it was my excuse is because I was dealing with target panic years ago. I was holding low. And I just, dude, they don't die right away. No. Like, they can go a long way on a low hard hit.
Yeah. No, without a doubt.
We've lost enough of them that it...
And maybe I shouldn't admit this, but I got into taking some long shots and was very successful. Like, I've only missed one deer over 50 yards ever. Maybe a guy that gets torn up shouldn't be taking those shots. But something about taking those shots actually calmed me down because I knew I couldn't just...
He wasn't close enough to get excited.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe. He wasn't going to hear your heart because he's 55 yards away.
That's about it, too. But no, like I would have to aim low hard on those deer because there's going to be some form of ducking to take place. But when they were at that distance, I actually found myself calming down much more just because in the back of my mind, I knew you can't just yank it like an 18-yard shot and still just hit them. You're going to get them.
Yeah.
Like that one, you got to settle in, squeeze, pop. And then I'd smoke
there's a lot of people that frankly will never be good bow hunters because inside 20 yards they can't handle the pressure of the deer.
That's fair.
You can't hold it together.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's breathing or heart rate or whatever, it's like, dude, I thrive for those moments. Yeah. Like I want them want them under my feet.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. buck fever is such a weird thing.
Like, I know some unbelievable bow shots that cannot kill deer.
Two different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only way you get good at killing deer is killing deer.
Killing deer.
Yeah.
Stack them.
That's what I tell my nephews and all the young guns that are coming up and hunting.
Just
like,
stack
you gotta
them,
kill
man.
deer.
Just put arrows in them.
I'd smoke like 9 does.
For sure.
I would say killing deer and realizing what is happening inside of you,
Being
like as that's
that
happening.
Yeah.
And then analyzing in
that.
hindsight what happened there. Like, why was I? It's just amazing how
you
quickly
have to put yourself in those situations.
Yeah.
So that is probably the biggest thing. Is most guys don't have enough opportunities in those situations to learn what's wrong and how to change themselves.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, think of like the average guy. How many times does a big buck come into his wheelhouse every season? Probably not that often.
No.
Oh, dude, there's nothing like it either.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen that often. So in the moment, if it happens and it falls apart, it's hard to learn one time a season to apply it to the next year.
Good luck.
For me, and so this is what I battle with, like subconsciously in my mind as that's happening. It's not just like, oh, it's an intense moment. In my mind, it's like I've been trained. I've dreamed of this since I was like 10 years old. And even though I've killed plenty of deer between then and now, it's the pressure of like my entire life has been culminating towards this deer. I've put so much effort into it. So that's the weight of the stress that you're trying to manage. It's not just the deer itself in the moment. It's just like my whole life. It's like, and you think you flash about like the effort it goes into buying the farm and like all the work that you've done. And here it is. It's this moment. It's like, it's so gigantic. I almost think we're at a disadvantage because we're so passionate, but we care about it so much. We know exactly what's at stake.
So much tied into it.
As opposed to somebody who stumbles out there and they're just like, hey, there's one.
Yeah. There's so much work. And then like even just the pressure of leaving because you left the family to go plant those food plots and do all that. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
We know exactly what's at stake and it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, without a doubt. No, I totally agree with that. And the more opportunities you get, maybe you get better at it. But also I think there's something about being present in that moment. Like you just said, maybe you got to talk yourself through it or practice breathing.
Prepare for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just expect it.
Even from a sports standpoint, like I've been in high pressure situations like that, but it's just
different.
Yeah. Yeah. When you can hear your heart beating in your throat, it's different. That's why we do it.
I think I sit there in the stand and probably play it in my head 100 times before it actually happens.
Yeah.
Like just sitting there and be like, he's going to come from here. He's going to do this. Like so when it happens, I'm not like, oh shit, I'm like, yep, he did it. There he is.
I think slowing your heart, if you were going to focus on something, like breathing is one. I mean, diagnose whatever's happening with you in that moment. But for most people, I think it's heart rate and it's that thumping that's uncontrollable.
Yes.
It's a literal biological thing that you can control. You can slow your heart rate down with breathing techniques and focusing on it.
I'm doing all the other
and it's not like
something to focus on. Yeah.
It's just slowing it down and being intentional about it. And dude, there's James Nestor has like the art of the breath thing. There's the Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
Breathing, dude, is like you can control so much with that. I would advise anybody who's struggling with buck fever, not target pin, but buck fever to work on that.
Okay. I'll put it in the arsenal.
Yeah, pretty simple.
And then it becomes, as you do it more or not, then you're like, okay, I was successful at that a few times. And then it becomes kind of like, this is just what I do in that moment.
I've done it the right way. Like I've done it where I'm like, oh, I squeezed that off perfect. And like, it's just every once in a while, like you can hear that heart beating, and I'm fixated on the deer and not focused on maybe what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
Good old deer hunting, boys.
It's a weird predator aspect when you think about it. Like, because you're in a stand, your whole goal is for him not to know you're in the stand.
Listen to this, Jeremy. Is it weird to equate this to premature ejaculation? in that, listen, because I know everybody has been here.
I'm not sure there's a mental hurdle to get over there.
Well, listen.
Grandma.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, is you just focus on something else. You pretend it's not happening in the moment. I don't think that's necessarily the right, you should face your fears.
It's going too far. No, come back. In
the meantime, if nothing else, think of, anything else to let it not happen right now.
Now I'm gonna laugh next time a buck comes in, because that's where my head's gonna go to you saying that.
Yeah, don't let it happen yet. We're gonna make it there.
Don't ejaculate on the shot.
Yeah, wait for after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wait for after.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. It is hard though, because like I said, you have to be in enough of those buck encounter situations to learn.
No other way you're gonna learn.
Yeah, and you don't ever want to lose it, right? Like they're for sure. I think Brackett's one of the guys who told us where he's like, there's a point of like, it didn't matter how big of a buck came out. It just walk out and he's like, that's dead. And he just like there was no excitement or culmination of the hunt. It just was kill on release. And like, so I don't think you want to go that far because there is an excitement there, especially after the shot's made of like, that's when I want to fall apart. That's where I want to like enjoy what just happened.
Yeah. And it does. After is when it happens because then you just let it go. And I don't want to stop shaking. I'm like, just let it happen.
Can I be honest with you? The moment I release that arrow, there's like a sense of sadness that kind of overtakes me.
Yeah,
because now that chase was over.
You're on the other side of the hill at that point.
The anticipation is what does it for me. So honestly, as I release that arrow and I sit back, it's a weird thing being a hunter. Like, and you walk up on that animal, and now that I'm a little bit older, you understand life a little bit differently and all these other things. But like when I release that arrow, it's all downhill from there for me.
Sure.
Like there's actually like a sadness that almost overtakes me instead of like the old school when I was younger. Hell yeah. Like I can't believe it. I smoked him. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Different.
I mean, dude, I was a straight killer when I was young. Like you said, I would stack 8, 9, 10 does, button bucks. I didn't give a shit. I just kill deer.
Same here, man.
Yeah. And it's different, especially now when you're putting effort into some of these deer. Like, there are deer this year that I'm excited to chase. At the same time, if I kill them, I'll be like, shit, because there's a void on a farm when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so we're clear here, like, would you describe it as sadness? I mean, I know we probably experience a very similar feeling. Mine isn't as immediate, if I'm being honest. Mine's and it's not remorse either. It's a respect for the animal. It's a sadness that the journey has come to an end, essentially. For me, anyways. And it takes a little bit more time to set in. It's kind of like over the process of the recovery, the gutting. I'm still appreciating the animal, but then I'm realizing that, hey, this was the end of it.
It's weird because I'd say the sadness hits me instantaneously, and then maybe there's another climax slightly when you get it to camp and you show it to everybody, and like then it's like, let's have some beers, and then you really enjoy that deer. You stand by the tailgate, you put your hand on it. Like there's that whole aspect, so it comes back. But like when you put so much time, effort into a farm and the anticipation of especially a specific deer, and then it's gone, it's like, and like, not to be that guy, but like, do you just go out there with like a Nerf gun just to let yourself know you could do it and not kill a deer? No, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like that does happen to me.
There is a tie-in there to being a landowner or a manager or whatever, to growing those deer and just knowing they're there versus the actual culmination of a hunt.
Yeah. Say that again. I'm sorry. The first part of that? You just said there's something to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, use the analogy of the gardener. Like, what good is it to garden something and grow the most beautiful if you never pick it? That's part of it.
I don't know, man.
It can't be complete unless it's picked.
I think it can.
Not as a hunter, it can.
A lot of my clients would disagree with that. And maybe they're more land managers than they are hunters. That is what it comes down to.
I think that's an age and experience thing. Like, dude, right now, I've got if I don't kill a buck this year, I don't care. I have a desire to do it, but wouldn't bother me one bit.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you there. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I have to kill something to be successful. Mm-hmm. However, I'm going to call this guy back in a minute. However, and it's not even to say it wasn't a successful hunt, right? Mm-hmm. Because, you can go out and enjoy all the fruits of your labor there and stuff, but like to be a hunter, and to be, eventually that is part of the process. Otherwise, you're just a land manager.
Yeah, but there's different levels there too, right?
And that's okay if that's all you want to do.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I don't know, in Kentucky, good chance that I'm like, I don't kill deer this year.
Yeah.
But if my kids kill one,
absolutely,
fine.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at. And I sadly feel like the being in the industry and doing what I do for a living expedited that process, where maybe I should have been a little bit older before I started to feel that way. But seeing everything that I've seen up to this point, I feel like has expedited that process where, like, I'm going to be honest with you, there's a part of me that sees, we've talked about this a little bit online with one of you guys, but like the whole hunting camp atmosphere, like that's so important to me. Mm-hmm. I think my camp could be coming to an end any year now. Mm-hmm. We might lose some of the older guys. You just never know. Yep. And that's what it would come down to.
I'll start a new one.
Well, I would. It's seriously. I want to put myself in a financial position to continue that group, but maybe buy the piece of land in the cabin just for that purpose. And that's psychotic to do that for 1 week a year. That's how much it means to me. Like that part of the hunt.
That's we're with you.
Like to buy land.
Don't wrap up here. I got to call this guy real quick. Yeah.
Like to buy land to let other people enjoy. I'm there, and I think therefore, like if people were to judge me online based off of what I'm shooting, we don't have the same goals. You're using I'm not using trail cameras on all my farms anymore. I might go to longbow on just certain farms now. Like I need to keep this fun for me, and I want to get people like. I want to get people involved. Like my home farm, dude, my dad probably hunted 25 times last year. A little 80-acre chunk. Like you're not getting it done there like a big buck killer would want to. I don't care.
Yeah, who cares?
He was having fun. And so, man.
I bet every hunt you checked in with him. Hey, what'd you see? What'd you get?
And then when he finally decided, because he's an older guy, so he doesn't feel the need to pull his trigger as much. But finally in like December, he's like, all right, probably time to pull the trigger. With the muzzleloader, he smokes like a couple of them and shoots a nice buck and stuff like that. You know, something I would have probably passed, and he knows that, but it didn't matter. And so like he's looking the other way, and I went and I dragged that deer up to him in the snow, and it was super quiet. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I think you missed him. And I dragged up to him real quick because it was like slippery snow. And like those moments, but here I am repeating them. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important to me to build farms and take out other people to enjoy them. And now, like I got that Missouri farm, I got another lease. If I told people what I spent on that lease to take my brother-in-law, to take my father-in-law, to take my dad, to take my nephews with for the hunt, I'm not going before then.
Yeah.
If people knew what I spent, they would think I'm an insane person. But you know how many memories we might hopefully create that week? That's it. That's it for me. So like, maybe,
which I think is important. That's the grounded important. I mean, dude, I've been in when I bought my first farm, I'm like, nobody will hunt this. My kids might not even hunt this. Like it
changes.
It's and now it's like, they're just deer.
Do you think you get back into it when the kids are older, maybe off in their own world? Like, do you think?
Probably. Yeah, just with absolutely. For maybe more, frankly, maybe I put my killer hat on again. Yeah. Right? Because it's off.
There you go.
Right now. Not that I won't. Like, I mean, the elk hunt I did in Kentucky was, that was a me kill, just me one-on-one type trip, right?
I do one of those a year, just to keep it sharp.
Yeah, and I just want to know that I can still do it, right? But for the rest of the season, nah, man, it's cool, and there will be times for it. But yeah, I think probably when they age out and they're off on their own, for sure. At that, and I have more time.
Yeah. That's literally, I do at least one hunt a year. Last year, I went up to Colorado, did it all by myself, killed an elk by myself, brought it home, and that was actually the day that I made my first initial post that like, hunting isn't as fun to me, and I'm coming home successful.
Sure.
You know, I did it alone. I proved that I could do it. I was running 10 miles at a clip before I went out there. It was the hardest pack out I've ever had. I put the entire elk on my body, like the last mile with my weapon, like with my backpack, everything. I got it out, like the most rewarding hunt, but on the way home, like there was still something missing, and it was the fact that I didn't get to share it with somebody.
That was mine.
Yeah.
That was mine too. I mean, I did it all, packed it out, like did everything that I wanted to, and at like whatever 2:30 in the morning, drinking a beer on the front porch, I'm like, nobody knows.
No,
there's nobody that knows.
And you know, it was glorified, I guess, in the industry by certain people to like just be that solo lone wolf killer. Yeah. Like, and for certain guys, I think that's definitely important. And if that's what makes you happy, you should keep doing that. But like, it tricks some of us into thinking we need to be that guy. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm a very, very good mobile hunter. Like I've only mobile hunted for the past decade plus. But like, something about being with people and getting somebody else in the tree with me and conversing and shooting the shit and telling jokes and sharing snacks during opening gun season. Like, that's it, man. And I think that's what the future of hunting. So like, we got to be careful to be the guy that buys these farms and hold them all to ourselves, because I don't think the big buck craze by itself, I don't think I just don't think that's the future. I don't think it sustains hunting, and maybe hunting's not going to be here much longer anyway with what you hear is going on in Oregon and all these other places with regulations or what they're trying to regulate. You can't kill an animal in this state or whatever BS is going on. But I'm more focused at my relatively young age at making sure doing everything that I can to make sure that hunting is still here for my kids.
Hunter Podcast is brought to you by Pure Wildlife Blends.
Man, what a critical component just to everything that we talk about, especially during these off-season months. You know, we're looking at and developing these different farms and trying to improve them from year to year. And whether that's food plots or different switch screenings or bedding areas, they all require a dedicated and thoughtful seed blend.
Yeah, so obviously Pure Wildlife Blends being Jeff and Jen Sturgis, we've built a great relationship with those guys. And really what we're seeing is a true testament to them picking the best varieties for these mixes. In fact, we're leaning on clover a lot more. The perennial plot power that those guys do was one of the best clover plots I've ever seen. From December to March, we had more deer in a single clover plot than I've ever seen. A lot of these sheds coming from that plot or right around it. Again, just a true testament to what these guys are creating at Pure Wildlife Blends.
No doubt. And so if you guys are looking for just a workhorse seed that the deer will really use the way that you want them to use it, you can use promo code HUNTER, HUNTR, for a discount on the Pure Wildlife Blends website.
obviously I don't see myself in the position, but just as like looking forward of kind of like where things are going and what's happening, like we're in it. There's no doubt that right now, big bucks aren't nearly as cool as they used to be, just because of how we see them, how they're treated online, how people treat. Like, dude, somebody killed we didn't even score them back then, but somebody killed a 150-inch deer. Giant. You paraded it around. Everybody knew about it. Maybe made the newspaper, whatever. Now it's just like we're so numb to it, not just because of social media and people killing them, but from trail cameras, right? I mean, I think it's at our fingertips. We see these things all the time. My worry is that the 1% increments that a lot of people are taking to find like the next level unleashed of big deer, eventually we get to a point where they're accomplishing it every year, and then they're just like, now what?
Yeah. Here's what I'll say, and I want to say this, especially on your podcast, a little bit bigger audience. I say it on my platforms all the time, but trail cameras are a tool that you should absolutely use, but the majority of us are using them wrong. We did this study. You guys are familiar, at least semi-familiar with what we did. At the end of the day, here's what people are doing. They're littering their farms with trail cameras, and then they're only going out and killing buck A, B, or C, and that's it. And that's the hit list. So therefore, if he's even in the woods at midnight, you're not thinking about shooting a doe that day. And therefore, the herd gets imbalanced. You don't shoot does like you used to. Genetic potential is never met. It's just a tumble effect. So like, use your trail cameras, guys, but like
100%. That's why does don't get shot, is because we know there's bucks out there.
Without a doubt. And now that's literally 90% of the farms I go to, guys, there's a massive herd imbalance. You are not shooting enough does. And guess what? You're not going to fix it in a year. It's going to be a 3 to 4 year process of you hammering some does. It just is. And then maybe we can start hopefully reaching genetic potential. And then, maybe the feed makes a little bit bigger of a difference. And then you manage your invasives, and there's more browse, and it's balanced the way it should be. But because we use trail cameras the way that we do, you set your sights on buck A, B, and C. That's all you're shooting. You don't shoot does, and therefore this massive herd imbalance takes place. You don't have food.
Especially in a bait state. We don't even do anything to like improve the habitat or create scenarios. We just go dump the corn pile and then wait for the one buck to come in. We shoot it. We don't let anybody else hunt, and we're done. We're out.
And that's why earn a buck needs to be implemented in certain states. And legislatively, it'll never happen, especially in a state like Wisconsin and places like that. But that would have been a better fit in Michigan. Even if 50, and how do you do it? I know there's that conversation, but even if 50% of people fudge the system, I ran the statistics. If 50% of people fudge the check-in, the phone check-in, whatever it would be, there'd still have been a 30% increase in doe harvest. Wisconsin would be 25 to 30. Virginia would be similar, and so would Kentucky. Those are states that should implement earn a buck. It's not a fit for everybody, but it would have helped more. I think a 2 buck to a 1 buck helps, but it was maybe a problem 1B, not 1A.
Sure.
But how do you legislatively make people shoot does? Like, that's a tough one.
The reason
they
pissing people off.
The reason they won't do it is it's unpopular, and politicians just don't like implementing unpopular decisions because they
want to remain favorable.
They want to remain favorable, and it's also their accountability to the governor in most cases is that they retain at least we have a stable number of income. You know what I mean? It's and also hunter numbers. So those are the two things they don't want to mess with. I think the top 3 priorities is like they want to shoot more deer to appease all stakeholders in most states. They want to retain hunter numbers. They want to retain or increase hunter income. Those are the 3 things they care about.
I understand that, but and not that they care, but that
quality is not in a site.
It's not even quality. I mean, they're
age class. They don't care.
It's just herd health, man.
They don't care.
I understand. It's just like
they don't care at all.
Yeah,
it would literally make your buck hunting better. They'd meet their genetic potential. There'd be more available food for these deer.
I've said this too. The biologists from a lot of these states will 100% agree. Yeah, yes, all the things and yes, the reasons that is why we believe it's happening. They're hired as a formality. They don't listen to their biologists. Well, they say that's great. Yes, thank you for your input. Okay, but here's here's what we're gonna do from these 3 things we care about.
And by the way, there should be certain DMUs, like there should be certain units within states where it's not like a statewide thing. 100%. Like it should be located in certain areas and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating. If I'll be honest with you, that's kind of why I bitch online the way I do, because maybe it just puts a birdie in somebody's ear. And you know what? Why I really like say the stuff that I say online is to be devil's advocate in almost every situation. Sure. Most of the stuff that you say or anybody else says, I'm very much in favor of. But we need to look at it as a hunting community in a well-rounded perspective and get the other perspectives, because it's not just big buck killers out there. Yeah. I'm on this team, but I realize that if I have the devil's advocate conversation, at least it gets people in the comments, bitching and complaining, but
it's
having a conversation. And maybe somebody hears it and goes, huh, maybe that's my wishful thinking.
Right.
Maybe Wisconsin comes to their senses someday and they go, huh, yeah, maybe that does make sense.
And if nothing else, maybe it'll resonate and they'll talk about it somewhere else. And you never know who it'll trickle down to.
That's why I do it.
And then all of a sudden you have kind of like a movement of like people realizing, hey,
you guys are proving it. I feel like you guys are making legitimate change just by sitting at this table and talking about things.
Yeah.
I think
that's why conversation is so important. Maybe you're not going to achieve everything you're ever going to want.
Sure.
But you're putting the birdie in somebody's ear. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to start conversations. And yes, I'm maybe riling people up, but it gets you talking. And at least if we look at all perspectives, like maybe we can come together on some of this because I'm sick of the negative shit, like even within the community, amongst habitat managers. Nah, F this guy. It's just like, guys, we're the people are looking at. We can't be doing that anymore. And I was guilty of it at a younger, I don't want to say younger, but like earlier in my career when I wasn't where I wanted to be. You're a bit of a hater.
Absolutely.
But there's guys that are doing better than me that are still being haters. And I'm like, why? Like, what do you? Even if I said something that's like I would never directly be like, "Screw you for this." I'd say it to you. I wouldn't say it online, maybe. But like, even if I say something that's indirectly like bothers you, like, just shoot me a message, bro. Like, don't go and cry about it online and then filter that into the world of the people that we're supposed to be influencing in a positive way. And I'll be the first to admit, like, I clickbaited some people back in the day to just become relevant. Maybe right, maybe wrong, but it's not the right way to keep doing things.
It's character. You know, you've got good character for doing that. You know, and your attention shine through. You know, I mean, it's hard to sit on a 2.5 hour podcast and, you know, I think at the end of them, Jeremy and I have had conversations with a lot of people you're probably talking about, and at the end we feel like I don't know, it still seems a little off, kind of a thing. Versus, you know, it feels very genuine with you.
Yeah, an authenticity that happens.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's just like. They preach this, they preach that online, and like this is the right way to live your life, and then you're out here just spreading hate, and like I don't mean to be a softie about that stuff. It's just like if we're worried about the future of this whole thing, hunting, like as us, the people, the influencers, the people are looking at.
Yeah, we got to stick together.
Bitching at each other ain't the way. I can kill deer a different way and different standards and not like switchgrass, and you love switchgrass, buddy. We can go have a beer together still.
Yeah,
doesn't need to be like that.
Well,
there's guys that are that see my supplemental feeding stuff, and by the way, like my camera guys are sending me this stuff because I can't read all that shit anymore. Like I don't want to see it. So they're like, hey, did you see what so and so said? And it's like, dude, it ain't that serious.
Yeah.
Bro, we're all doing the same thing.
Wow, we get a rise out of like the people that take it very seriously. People that are further along in their careers and stuff. It's like, why is this guy
we're talking about the same people
hung up over this? It's interesting.
I personally blocked.
Seems
those
like
people.
a hole, and you know.
I blocked those people on social media, not because to be a hater, but like because I want to just focus on my own lane, and I didn't want to be distracted. But like, I went to go shoot a positive message to somebody very recently, and the first post that I saw was absolutely about me in a negative manner. Like, and I was there to send them a very heartfelt message about something. And so I peeled back for 24 hours and I was like, this like, and I still did it.
Yeah.
And I had this person blocked because like I said, I wanted to focus on my own stuff. I don't need any negative. I never blocked him for a bad reason. I heard about something and I said, I want to shoot somebody a message. Yeah. And the first thing I saw was somebody bitching about something I said. And it wasn't that serious.
Yeah. You still took a high road.
Yeah, it's hard, but
it is interesting. I would love to. On one hand, I think it would be pretty gratifying, and also like we could just have like a kumbaya moment if we would. There's no way to do it like logistically, but if we could sit and read like every comment that was ever made publicly and allow them to be addressed, and I mean anybody can go read. It's not like they're secret, but like if we could address them and have and address it. Some people just they're just bitter or they're in a bad they're just mad at themselves, kind of a thing. Other people might have good points to which we don't respond to every one, but it's like interesting, okay. Yes, that's why we had the conversation in the first place.
You probably have more in common than not with a lot of these guys.
I'm sure we do.
Sure.
Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I talked with Doug Duran this week, and he has a very strong opinion about CWD that most people do not. You wouldn't believe the amount of things that he said that I was like, I'm in agreement with that. Now, at the end of the day, he said a couple things that I'm like,
yeah, I don't follow.
Like, I'm just not seeing that.
Sure.
But we said a lot of things to each other and had a good quality
That's
conversation.
What the conversation is for. Explain it to me. Help me understand.
Yes, that was it. And so, like, I will never probably side with him completely because he said some things that I'm like, wow, like I can't
Who is that? What's his background?
I don't really know, I guess. Like, he's affiliated with Meat Eater.
Okay.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So like Steve's hunted at his farm.
Pro CWD.
Yeah, he's
like
we have to manage for it. Like this is what's happening on his farm, and he lives in the area. So if anybody's well versed on it, it should be him.
Is he?
He's got a big following. 50,000 followers.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. You see him on
Okay,
Meat Eater.
through Meat Eater. Like
yeah,
that's
through Meat Eater, I think is how he got big. And I don't know if he does something similar to the consulting side of things, but very.
I can't do any.
But very
any of the Meat Eater
pro
stuff, it's just
pro CWD management.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. To the point where like he would even make an argument that when September 15 hits, pull out the rifles.
Yeah, because he's a density guy.
Yeah.
We don't know. In fairness, we don't know.
He liked my earn a buck discussion, so that's what got us chit chatting. And you know, I was cool with that, but like some of the other stuff, it's just like there was arguments to be made that like people, the general population, will not get on board to do anything about it. And I said that's because the science hasn't given them a reason to after 20 years and $300 million.
Sure.
And I will say that people are willing to do it, and I can prove that via EHD. When we see EHD take place, people are out there taking care of their ponds. They're using the chemicals. They're taking action.
Yeah,
because
they're going to town
they know
meetings.
what makes a difference. Nobody from a scientific perspective has given me any groundbreaking science about CWD that makes me say, this is what I can do to help, other than kill some deer. And guess what? We've let deer live on for now 20 to 30 years. You know, how many deer generations? And then he'll tell me something along the lines of, and I don't want this to sound negative, but 40% of my deer have CWD. Only 40%? Like, and you're in the heartland of it? Like, I thought it was 100% infectious. Like, I just expected more crazy numbers. So is it really that bad? Guys, we've had 30 years to kind of say no.
Also, big picture.
But if you gave me a reason to do something,
They
science.
don't have anything.
No, so
also
time out. Enough with it.
Big picture.
Done.
I don't think we know either. Like, dude, the professionals have been wrong about everything throughout the history of humanity. You know, it's like, it seems like, but so compared to like a wildfire or, you know, some sort of, it's like, is this a good thing? Is there a reset that's a naturally occurring thing that should be happening here? We don't know. We're playing God a little bit and pretending to know. Yeah, maybe there's black and white, good or bad things that are having immediate consequences, but like CWD doesn't seem like one of them. It seems like a long-term thing that we're speculating on and spending a lot of money. And
there are biological resets. If hunting never existed, there would be ebbs and flows. We kind of keep it like this. I don't know that CWD is that, like a EHD. I guess we kind of do know it's now. We've had 30 years to look at it and kind of
even EHD.
That.
I'm like, do we know? I'm like, there are some areas where it seems like, it kills them all, and then
there will be a resistance
4 or 5 years later.
Well, so yes. And I think that the biggest thing, more so with an EHD than a CWD, because it's such a dramatic event that's happening, like literally thousands of deer die within an X month period until we build herd immunity, which we don't know how long that takes. I think the bigger issue overall, and it's not in every place, but in the ag-dominated areas, is chemicals. I think 100%
we know the science
it is
now.
Dramatically reducing the recruitment in deer. And therefore, if you have a overharvest and or an EHD outbreak or whatever, they're not bouncing back.
Yeah.
The areas that should, because they have fertile soils and everything else, that should bounce back from those traumatic death, incidences, they're not anymore. And it will lead to those areas potentially being void of life. Yeah. And that's a huge problem when you're talking about the heartland, right? Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, even go into Wisconsin and stuff, the Dakotas. Like, dude, when you don't have deer, adult does averaging 1 to 1.5 fawns per year from a recruitment side, like getting them to 6 months, you're not bouncing back.
There's direct correlation. It's not even refutable at this point. We know what the chemicals do to humans, and they hide that science because it's everywhere. We still know.
It's been shut down multiple times by Monsanto.
So I think there's going to be a big move, and I already see it a little bit for organic food plotting. And it ain't never going to be as good. Like, you need chemicals for some shit. That's just the way it is. But it's a movement happening within the industry, or people online, or people like. A lot of people ask me about, hey, how can I do this without herbicide? And I'm like, oof, bud, like, it's going to be tough. We can only plant a handful of things. Maybe we got to start with this crop, try and crimp it. Crimping very rarely
and maybe
works.
More mechanical disturbance, which still yields weeds. But
in the farming industry, you see the occasional video of these guys using fire to basically like zap weeds, running like I didn't know
like the little torch thing.
Yeah, running like a torch thing behind. There are push versions of it, and there's companies that I've literally thought about for my own research purposes doing an acre in a push fire eradication of weeds. I think
how does that happen? Like,
it almost looks just like a big.
I've seen it.
I don't want to. Yeah,
but don't they just come back? Like, it doesn't kill the.
Yeah, maybe you treat it a couple times.
Well, your annuals, it would torch them.
It would smoke your annuals. Yeah. So you're smoking at whatever percentage of that would be in your seed bank.
But not like your grasses and your...
And then if you don't disturb soil and you no-till over the top of that so you don't reintroduce anything.
Yeah.
The reduction.
Yeah. And on top of that, maybe you do some sort of... Another thing I don't see people talking about is a lot of in-furrow planting. Just so that... Give your plants a little bit extra boost so that they can get above those weed seeds and maybe outcompete them. There's a lot of different variables there. But yeah, I think the fire thing is probably your best option, like some sort of fire contraption. They do have push ones. You put a propane tank on. It's a very similar, pull the trigger like a snowblower type looking thing. But they need something for small utility tractors, and the food plotting community would probably get in on that. But how many guys are going to go in and do August food plots and then
liability.
Yeah, it's
that's
tough,
probably your
man.
best option though if you don't want to use
And I
chemicals.
mean, most of that stuff is going to be
One of
on the large ag level, right? Like however that's affecting them, whether it is drift or if it's it probably is more in the consumption of treated plants would be my guess.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, I mean, it for sure is messing with reproductive organs, and it absolutely is affecting them. That's why in you're talking about Southeast Ohio and EHD, that herd will bounce back in 3 to 4 years because there's very little ag in that area. But if that happened in eastern or western Iowa, which it did multiple years in a row, they aren't bouncing back.
Yeah.
There's no deer.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely makes a difference. And I can even say personally, just from living in farm country, like I've been forced to go down this health journey due to some issues that I've had, but I've done blood work and even piss tests and stuff like that. And the amount of glyphosate and herbicides that they found through some of these tests in my body were alarming.
Really?
Well, that's why I told you off air, but last week I went and I got a bunch of. I basically had my blood filtered, my plasma removed from my body. They put something else, not synthetic, but put something else back in to replace it. And I've done tests now prior to the procedure, and now I'll do it after. But a lot of like those chemicals, forever chemicals, the bisphenols, the plastics as well. That's a big deal. I'm getting into the weeds here. I did Invisalign and I quit. My microplastics in my body were 20 times the recommended amount of what was like acceptable.
From Invisalign.
Well, it's the only thing I did. I don't know.
Holy shit!
And there's a lifetime.
Could come from anything.
There's a
right?
lifetime of microwave and plastic and shit too.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I can test for the herbicides in my blood system, and it was at an alarming rate, and that caused me, along with some other issues, to go down there and have roughly, on average, they can get about 60% of that stuff through that procedure removed.
Is it pretty doable? Like, is it affordable? Is
No.
that something like once it's expensive?
It cost me over 10 grand.
Yeah.
But
really, that
I
seems
mean,
higher. Isn't it just? Is it just like a dialysis machine they hook you up
basically,
to?
very basic. Yeah, basically a dialysis machine.
10 grand seems excessive.
Yeah.
Insurance, or because it's an elective?
No, none
No.
of that's insurance.
Nothing I
covered.
do anymore for my health is insurance related because the stuff that works isn't generally insurance related.
Correct.
But no, that's expensive, but it's not. Well, what are you spending on a vehicle payment a year? What are you guys spending on?
Yeah,
all
sure.
this
It's your
other
body.
shit?
You got one of them.
It's your only motor, guys. Yeah, I'll shove that into it every year. And if I got a sports injury, I'm going to take care of it before it becomes an issue when I'm 50.
Every
so I can
year
play
you'll
with
do
my
that,
kids.
or is that
I'm
something
not
you
gonna
can do one
that.
time and yeah?
Well, you're going to get about a 60% result, hopefully eradication of a lot of these negative things in your body the first time. If you have some real chronic issues, they might tell you to do it 2 to 3 times. Yeah. Now, I think it's something you could do maybe every decade, maybe every 5 years, but take the blood test first and just see what your body's looking like and compare results.
Yeah.
Like if you're not keeping up on your personal engine nowadays and just checking your blood work and then doing like a little extra test, and that test cost me $700. It's called the Vibrant test, is one that I did. Tested for the herbicides, the plastics, and all that stuff. Like,
does it tell you just a variety of like naturally occurring levels and stuff too? Like, would that be a good place to start?
There's a baseline.
Yeah,
like that shows.
Just for does it tell you? I don't know.
Molds,
cholesterol, like your iron levels, just all that stuff.
Well, the Vibrant test just focuses on the microtoxins, I guess. But your typical blood work, you get all that. The cholesterol,
your fasting test.
Like
yeah.
I
That
do
also
all
your
stuff.
lipid profiles, liver, all that stuff.
That's through that test that will also do that, or
no, that's just going to get your microplastics. So like your normal blood work, comprehensive.
See, I don't
blood
get
work will get
normal
all
blood
stuff.
work done. I don't
Really?
know.
You wouldn't believe how much that can be affected by.
No,
this is more health.
I don't even know, dude.
Guys,
My primary care.
I
guy
go every
sucks.
I get mine every 6 months.
From your primary care.
Mm-hmm.
Mine won't. They just do like the basic. They won't tell you anything.
I pay for it on the side.
They'll tell you like, hey, if something's wrong or off, but they won't tell me like, what if I want to enhance or improve?
Oh yeah, no, they won't tell you that.
You need to go to a more of a functional doctor now.
Yes.
And not that even they're all qualified, but they're more willing to, you want to get that blood work? We can order that. And you'll just pay out of pocket for the $200. But at least they'll order what you're interested in knowing about your body, where somebody in normal healthcare is like, why?
Yeah, right.
You're getting your normal lipid, cholesterols, enzymes,
and some of my stuff, even on those, from actually microtoxins and mold exposure, like some of my liver stuff was so out of range. My normal doctor never said anything. I go to a functional guy and they're like, "Are you okay? We might not be able to do this procedure," and then they find out why.
Yeah,
and all these things. So going back to deer, introducing these forever chemicals and this shit. Like, and I don't mean to be a hippie about it. I got my blood work to prove it.
Yeah.
Numerous occasions.
Your teeth look great, by the way. It was worth it.
Yeah, they're fine. I didn't finish.
It was worth all the microplastics.
Yeah, I didn't finish, and I went to the orthodontist, and like, we never thought about that, and I was like,
Oh wow.
because I just got curious about it because I was in this health journey. Yeah, dude, this shit is effing people up.
Wow.
So you can't tell me the chemicals aren't making a difference. I live in farm country roughly my whole life. It is absolutely.
I think they are talking about it now. I've seen a lot of reports talking, detailing the Iowa having the highest rate of cancer development stuff because of the chemicals, obviously.
Yeah,
and they know that. That's what they're talking about.
And I guess I have no affiliation with the clinic, but I went to a place called Ways to Well in Texas, and that's where they're one of the few people that are going to offer this electively. But like, if you're in one of those like agriculture areas, do your blood work. But like, realize that there's something that you can do, and I don't know the percentages, but how much did I just lower my percentage of possibly getting cancer now someday? I don't know. There's always variables, but like, for 10 grand, and this is a new thing, so maybe prices come down in the future, especially from an elective standpoint. It's a new thing. It's not. It's been in the medical field for a long time, used for a lot of different applications. But, yeah, I mean, I feel better already. So now we'll see in the numbers.
Interesting.
It's a thing.
You ever talked to Lukowski? Have you met him?
No.
Really? It was interesting. Like, we had a long conversation with him. We stopped at their house on the way home from our Iowa trip, and we're showing off our bucks and stuff. And he's very interested in longevity and like he's bragging to us.
We should chat because you're not
bragging to us about the youthfulness of his organs and stuff. And he's like, dude, he's big into that stuff.
My biological
he's invested
age,
in it.
Oh yeah, he's invested in some companies that do stuff like
as
that.
He probably should be. My biological age, I have numerous tests that I've done, but is somewhere between 23 and like 26. And I've been very serious about this stuff, but I still got to weed out my other bad issues. Even given my bad issues that I've had, based off of the metrics that they look at to come up with that score, I'm doing pretty well.
Cool.
So
I'd like to know more about that. Maybe off air,
I got you. Yeah, for sure. And we got the shit in us, guys. Take care of your bodies because it's more hunting seasons then.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. And like you said, it's the one engine you got. Take care of it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll shove it into a vehicle, but you ain't gonna shove it into your body. It's just you gotta allocate your money to the right things. It is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of what people are spending on stupid shit every year, get rid of that cup of coffee at Starbucks. You heard those things. You can figure it out. And if you only gotta do it once, and once every 10 years, you can figure it out. Just got to be priority.
Yeah, and I mean, frankly, and yes, to your point, like they're not going to tell you everything you need to do, but like, yeah, get your blood work done at least once a year. It's easy to get basic
every
cholesterol
6 months I do it.
and
I've been a doctor in 3 years.
Whatnot. You should do it.
There's certain metrics, even as fit as I am, run 10 miles, like strong as an ox. Like I was like, oh shit, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
so
well, dude, me too.
Well, that's why I found
especially
out.
like at the carnivore-ish stuff, screwed up my cholesterol to the point where like, hey bud,
Yeah, it was bad.
yeah,
mine was. I have. Well,
Do you think they're correct about that stuff though?
Yes.
Like the cholesterol thing is like it seems like it's
I know,
debated.
It is, but
oh, dude,
at some
you
point,
don't-
like I was even over the threshold in which the people that would debate it would even say was
yeah,
safe.
you don't want high cholesterol.
No.
No.
Be laying dead in the woods one day, and
Yeah.
it's just going to hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my cholesterol was extremely elevated because I got on this carnivore eggs only kick. Like I was having no fiber, no greens, because greens had plant defense chemicals and all this other shit that's bad for me. Oh, I won't do that anymore. I'll just eat meat. And it's more fun to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fudged me up.
Yeah, my family's got high cholesterol to begin with, and so I just was monitoring. Eventually, it was like, hey, yeah, you need to take note of this.
There's supplements that Ways to Well recommended to me that it'll drop it by like 15%. And it's a very like homeopathic supplement. CRISPR has, are you familiar with CRISPR?
Mm-hmm.
They have like you can genetically modify your genes to get rid of that as well. Like that's very drastic now.
Wow.
But if you have that high cholesterol gene,
Interesting.
you can just
Take care of
turn
it.
off the button, basically.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's pretty easy. It's like, dude, I mean, just don't eat stupid shit all the time and exercise.
Balanced diet.
Yeah, that's it.
Eat your greens, eat your fruit, eat your veggies, eat your meat, but not just one of all of them.
Yeah.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
But we get caught up in this shit that we see online.
Well, that's why. Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't take long. Like there's an outpatient place. I go over there, take my blood. Usually within 8 hours, it's on my app. And I'm like, there it is.
Yep.
See it all.
Yeah, it's scary sometimes when you get the bad result, or not bad result, but bad enough. You're like, oh, I thought it was great, but you need to.
Yeah.
Especially when you got kids coming and stuff like that.
And figure it out.
Got to be here.
That's how I found out I had Lyme years ago because I was like, I hadn't been to a doctor from the time I was off my parents. I was probably 18 when I stopped, and then I didn't go again until I was like 20. I don't know, 25, 26.
It's a very hard thing to get out of your blood too.
And I just said, hey, I I've had plenty of ticks on me. I should probably get tested. I wasn't having any symptoms or anything, but they're like, oh yeah, no, you definitely have Lyme disease, and we can tell here you've had it for a long time. So here's your deoxycycline, and so I did it for 3 weeks, and it absolutely tore my stomach up. It was awful.
I'll never do it again.
And then at the end of it, they were like, we tested again. They're like, yeah, it's still in there.
You're not getting rid of it.
I was like, I'm not. It is what and I never had any symptoms, so I was like, I'm just going to keep going.
I need to get that blood test again to see if maybe this worked and maybe it got out of my blood system, because I got it initially like probably 10 plus years ago, to the point where I was debilitating, like lost my ability to speak and all these other things for a short amount of time. Neurologist, heart cardiologist, like findings things. Yeah, like did like a couple procedures even with my heart. I woke up during one of them with the tube down my throat, pretty crazy. But yeah, maybe if I get that blood work now, maybe it did remove that Lyme's from my bloodstream, because I got that procedure done. So I'd be interested to test for that again. I recently just tested for alpha-gal because I was having issues with my stomach, but most likely from 6 rounds of doxy, you know?
Jesus.
So, yeah, it's been a journey, but at the end of the day, like, I'm thankful that all that bad stuff happened, because it gave me an opportunity to overcome it and sit with you guys on this podcast today. Man. And that's just how you got to look at life. So if you got something going on in your life, get over it. Figure your shit out, and nobody's going to feel bad for you.
And that's it, man. Like in today's medical thing, yeah, there's a lot of bullshit out there, but it's easy to get certain screenings and tests done. If you get bad news or it's not where it needs to be, you can fix it.
It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to overcome something. That's how you got to look at bad stuff in this life, guys. If you're going to sit there and play that poor me game, that's the type of life you're going to live. So yeah, exactly. Just be aware of it and fix it before you're not here one day for your kids.
Yeah, it's super easy.
Well, people might look at you and say, look, you look great, you know, and not, or me or Jeremy, and realize like, hey, we're all dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so just, embrace it, learn from it. Try to make the best of it.
Got to get you boys off them herbicides. I listen to this podcast. You got an encyclopedia shit you boys are using. I'm like, oh.
More than you're using?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
it's interesting to know what's what, but it's really not.
Dude, I'm using the plain Jane stuff, and I'm trying to just eradicate my farms of all of it now. It's not happening. Like, I'd love to get there, but when I hear you guys rattling it off, and now knowing what I know because of what I've gone through and measuring my levels, I'm like, boys, go get a blood test, and maybe you still do it, but now you rock a mask or you do it in an enclosed cab, or you'd be goofy about it, but you're still gonna do it. But take precautions. It's a thing, so it's a thing in our deer.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it and I'm like, I try to use it twice a year, 3 times a year.
The blood work?
Around it. No, chemicals.
The chemicals. Yeah.
You know, as minimal as possible. But yeah, drift is a real thing, and
I live in egg country. My wife's like, what do you think about buying that field? I'm like, you know what it's going to cost? She's like, yeah, but look at what they're doing. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, honey. I need more money.
Yeah, no, it is a big deal, man. And there's a lot of money behind it, so they aren't stopping.
No.
And
I think they attempted to.
They've got a lot of control. I mean, we would have the administration to stop it right now, and it's not happening.
Yeah.
I think gly's going to be obsolete, like, in a matter of 10 years anyway.
Because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because everybody's immune to it.
So shit weeds too.
So they're making better, now you get your Liberties and your
Agent Orange will be the next one. They're just dropping bombs somewhere, dude.
That's about it, boys.
Yeah. Well, cool, dude. Well, we appreciate you dropping in and talking with us. And it's been a good conversation to have. And
appreciate it.
And like Jared said, it's cool to have authentic conversations with people, where other ones we get off and we're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun, huh? This one more than I said it earlier, but I was like, really early on, I was like, just because I wouldn't know you, and I was like, boy, this guy's, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
You've come a long way for me personally. So it's like, we really did enjoy it.
And I can come off that way online too, because I get riled up about certain topics, guys.
You're just a high energy guy.
I am, especially with something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And that's this, guys. So, I don't know. Join along, follow along. I guess if you want to hear me go on some rants. I'm just trying to do it for the betterment of hunting and the future of hunting is what my primary focus is right now.
Yeah.
For everybody, my family.
You mentioned earlier your website to get a hold of. You drop us your social channels and stuff again.
Yeah, Whitetail Land Management Services, Instagram, Facebook, guys. If you want to get a hold of me, DM me on Instagram or whitetaillandmanagement@gmail.com. I will see emails first. That's the way to get a hold of me.
Cool.
Appreciate you guys having me on. Like I said, guys, I know I don't know you super well, but I think it's important to step out of our body sometimes and like
you do now,
guys.
Now you're a repeat customer at this point.
Well, I appreciate it, but like, no, I'm very, very happy for you guys and everything that you're accomplishing in this, but obviously outside of this too. But like, it's cool. You're in a 1%, so good for you guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate everyone listening to this episode of Hunter Podcast, and we will catch y'all next week.
Later.
Take me